We'll start soon. And we're live. I accidentally clicked it. I didn't mean to do that. Hey everybody. It's Thursday, and we're at the Eagle's Nest webcam 2.5 proxy tournament, and I actually have a guest today. I know we haven't had a guest in a little bit, but this is TCG Tamer, famous fun deck list maker. So go ahead, sell yourself.
Yeah, thank you for that intro, Risu. Yeah, I've been in the game since 1.0, the super pre-release event. Yeah, I like making super wonky deck lists and taking them to events and surprising people. I have, a couple top 16s under my belt, one top 8. My top 8 was in 1.0, being the only Leopardmon player at a
Oh, that's kind of sick.
full of Omnimon. That was fun. But yeah, it's been a good time. We like Digimon. It's a good game.
Dang, even 1.0, man, jeez. Like I started the game. Well, to be fair, I was very strict about how I was gonna start this game. Especially with how expensive it was early, and just how crazy the world was early. Like for me, I was like, I'm gonna play this game when Lobomon is in the game. So I started BT4, but I always hear the stories of 1.5, 1.0, the Omni, was it blue Omni Turbo, red Omni Turbo versus the world at that point, right?
Yeah, it was build the fastest Omnimon you can and swing for multiple checks. All blockers were 6,000 DP in that format, and every deck was required to play them.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those formats. We had a couple staples, one of them being Hammer Spark, one of them being Gaia Force.
Oh, right. Oh, man,
So,
Gaia Force. I miss you.
Yeah, that's kind of where you were.
No, that's where, I feel like... So, do you, you play, everything, it feels like. So, a lot... I feel like right now we're having, a conundrum of, people feel like... This is not a mentality I have anymore, but, a lot of people feel like... purple is overrepresented. As a black player, I have nothing to play, or as a green player, there's nothing for me to play. But I feel like the idea of identifying yourself as a colored player, right? As I played this specific color. I feel like that mindset comes from that early 1.0, 1.5 meta area. Maybe I guess it kind of moved into BT. I probably lasted until BT5 really, where I felt like people really identified themselves with color. But do you identify yourself that way, or nah, or is that just outdated?
I think that's an outdated way of thinking. I think the best way to describe yourself as a player is to identify your strengths as an aggressive player, or better at making defensive plays, or being better in tempo oriented situations, and playing to a good deck in a format that utilizes the best of those strengths. Yeah, for example, I like a tempo oriented deck that starts off really strong. Sorry, my honey getting something out of the fridge.
You're good.
But I like a tempo-oriented deck that starts off really strong and then kind of establishes control in the middle of the game and then ends with a big push. And so I gravitated towards Magnamon X. It's just a really strong deck doing everything that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I also really vibed with Newmon in BT16 because it's a very fast and aggressive deck, has an impressive amount of resilience.
Yes.
And so I was making, kind of disgusting Newmon lists for a while. But yeah, it's a good time. I think the best way to pigeonhole yourself is to identify yourself as a play style rather than a color.
Yeah, I can vibe with that too. That's probably how I see it too. Is a lot of and then people kind of transition that into well, I like being able to touch my graveyard a lot, so that just means I'm a purple player, and I love the purple play style. So, I think at the end of the day, people really do end up it's just it's just easier to call it a color, I guess, for people, because I agree with you 100%, right? I think it's what people do enjoy more is how the decks are working. But to me, that doesn't necessarily have to mean it's, like you said, like a color, or it's just like a play style. Like you like touching your graveyard a lot. Numemon, like unless you were purple based, like not a single purple card or a purple card in there, right? Every main card is either yellow or black, but you still have to do the same. Set up my trash, recur my trash, play this. What am I like? It's that same like combo-y, self-deleting play style, but has nothing to do with purple, right?
Even now, Numemon, the way that I have the deck built, utilizes a bunch of scrambles so that you just start pulling back all the good Nume pieces, and all of them are on play as well. So even now, Numemon feels more like a purple deck than even some purple decks in the meta. And so, yeah, I think the color identity, especially once we started adding a lot of dual colors and cards that ignore color requirements, like I think that color identity thing kind of went out the window.
Yeah, no, I agree, and like. That being said, it is kind of tough to like. It is kind of. I will give people credit in terms of like it is tough to say. You look at a top 16, right? Like, you look at our national format, for example. I think like you look at a top 16, it was like 11 of the top 16 was purple decks, right? That's not necessarily good either, right? Like where do you fall? Like I'm not sure. Like I'm conflicted when it comes to like thinking about it like that, because it is kind of lame that like, oh, we have a game where all these colors but only one of them is doing well, right? So like where do you fall? Is it do we just really don't matter, or should it matter a little bit, at least considering
it should matter, but it didn't matter to the degree that everybody is making it out to be.
That's fair.
I think the purple epidemic is kind of a symptom of best tools are in the current game state. So you look at the meta and you have a lot of decks that are like 3 Great Angel and 17 Lords. And if you can beat them early, then you kind of win. So Purple Hybrid really does that. So Purple Hybrid did well. And so a deck that kind of early loses to deck establish super control very early on. Think of like, well, against the Mother Shoto player, you can just deck them out. So I think it's a format is. I think just the tools that they had access to were better than what some of the other color identities had, save for blue. But we are in a position where blue doesn't have the tools to deal with stuff like 3 Great Angels. And it barely has tools to deal with Mother Control. Kind of play like the Huangkun Mon, or you're kind of just boned, you know? And so that's kind of just where we're at. I feel like purple just has access to a lot of different things. And like you said, it can touch its graveyard, so it can just recur the good pieces and find them quicker. But yeah, I think we should hit a couple of the cards whenever we do have the next ban list. I'm not educated enough to make a surefire thing is like, oh, Jack Raid needs to go to 1 and here's an essay as to why. It's like, whatever Bandai decides to do, I'll form my opinions then.
Fair enough. That being said, I'm going to cut you off a little bit. So we're going to go find you guys a table. We're going to go, the tournament has started, so we're a little late. I think we're going to go to table 2 just so I can be quick about everything. But yeah, so let me set up the screens for you guys. But yeah, no, I completely agree with a lot of what you were saying, if not all of it. But oh, nice! I don't have to change anything. We just go straight to table 1. Ooh, so 2.5's happening. I know you got like a whole video out about how Crossheart is out there, and like there's a lot of cool toolboxy things you can do. I kind of was on record saying that like the new support feels a little weird, a little janky. Not sure where it's gonna end up, just because like they're level 5s, you can't really material save them, or like, yeah, like it's just like the levels are all over the place. It's just like, so like what did you come out with? Like, as we're looking at, it looks like we got Royal Knights on the screen, which is really exciting, and not sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably see this. Oh, it's Tau Loop.
Oh, this is like a blue Tau Loop?
It's
is that
Royal Knight versus Tau Loop.
Oh wait, no, this might be just straight Jesmon.
This is straight Jesmon. I'm even more.
Let's see if I can figure out. A little bit of pack loss on your end. You're cutting in and out. Let's see if there's anything you're running in the background. I would say turn it off if you can. Let's see if there's anything on my side.
Yeah, my bad.
You're good.
Let's clean this up.
So he's unaffected. Is there anything else he does?
Wait. Were you asking me if there's anything else he does?
No, that was those were the players.
Oh yeah, just mute them. Sorry. It's bleeding through a little bit too.
Oh, my bad.
You're good.
Let's see.
What's up, Ryan? What's up, Kendall? How's everyone doing today? It's Thursday.
We're going to use blue card. Private taper, I can use this card.
Yeah, just mute the Discord if you can.
Yeah.
Alright, let me get the timer set up. But blue towel loop. That's definitely not something I expected to see. Is that something on your radar? As far as I understood, towel loop was going to be either a red base strategy along with a bunch of the red draw. We're talking about fireball. We're talking about what's hero of the skies or something? It's the cross art spell.
Yeah, Tau Loop has access to, like, the list that I was seeing even was playing, like, Mother and, like, just a bunch of options. Like, there's so many different ways to play it. I think you kind of have to acknowledge all of them.
What do you think I guess the blue lets you more consistently pull out, like, a Kaiser nail early without having to go into Kazuha or something, potentially?
Well, the Kazuha is half blue.
Alright.
How am I?
Yeah, I still gotta mute the Discord though. I think it's bleeding through. Or
Sorry, I'm just having trouble navigating that. Give me one
No, you're good.
second.
I think if you on the toolbar or on the bottom left, just like straight up like next to your username, you can just click the deafen button and it'll just do both right away.
Oh. Perfect.
Yeah, that's all.
That work?
Yeah, should be good
Okay.
now.
My bad.
Sick. No, you're good,
I'm
man.
still new to the webcam environment.
No, that's fair. But no, like yeah. Oh wait, this isn't even Jesmon. This is like Puppet Loop. Oh, what a weird match we got going on.
So he's under a ruin mode.
Mm-hmm. So he can't play any of his sister mons or anything, so that's a little rough. But this is definitely the mainstay of the deck, right? Just being able to just constantly ruin mode your opponent is going to be a little gross. Digivolve in the back.
Yeah, I'm excited to see with the blue engine how he intends to keep the ruin mode pressure on. Because I know the way that some of the other variants of this deck loop the ruin mode. And like we can see that he's playing the blue card, so that is an interesting inclusion as well.
Yeah, blue card is if I'm not, I forget how you ignore the white condition. Is it just as long as you have a Digimon on board, you can ignore the fact that it's white, and then on top,
I think it's if you have a tamer.
Ah, okay. So we have the TK. We get to ignore the white condition. Lets you search the top like 5 cards, and you can digivolve into one of those revealed 5 cards. And if not, you just take one of those cards to hand, right?
Correct. And the digivolve is a May, so you can choose to add the card and not digivolve if you want to.
Right. So either way,
it's a super versatile card.
Also, is Otama can't? Oh, man, I always these floodgates because we don't have every color doesn't have all of them. I always forget. Otama can't reduce play cost, right? So it shouldn't matter against puppets here because they're playing by effect. They're not really reducing the play. Oh, I guess the Genku might actually reduce play cost. I mean, yeah, it is can't reduce play cost.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see if that would matter into this matchup. I don't think it does. We see him crash into the Jesmon. Since the ruin mode was going to die on that attack, I don't think it matters too much. Oh, but it doesn't get the end of attack effect.
I was going to say, you don't get the end of attack effect, which is the heal and delete a Digimon. Let me actually get that on screen now. Let's start doing that.
So he gets to keep the Ganku.
And then we're gonna block the Otama, so we're gonna give up a lot of pressure here. I guess the Otama doesn't truly matter. Genku's -5, which I mean should easily clear the Otama. It's not a big deal.
Sure. He does get to draw an extra card off of that egg, so maybe he was digging for something deep. Or I think he's also trying to play around the Arisu to give him a memory for the puppet player.
Oh, true. But no, we're just gonna hard play the Taumon here for 5.
Okay.
Play Scramble, Digivolve into a level 6.
Incredible.
Gross. I mean, this is giving a lot of... I guess unless we go straight into Shine, this is giving our opponent a lot of memory.
True, but even if you give your opponent a lot of memory going into the Shine, so, you know...
No, you're not wrong. Like, we've established the Ruin mode. Oh, we're gonna blue card again?
Oh, dude.
Oh, and we found the Ruin mode. My god. Okay. That's just mean.
Yeah, it's just like, why not? Just play a deck that plays 4 Ruin mode. Yeah, What are your opinions on Ruin mode? Because I've seen a lot of players say that Ruin mode should be limited, and I don't know which side of the fence I'm on.
I think in a world back when this card was first released, it was okay. It was like, okay, it's a shutout card, but it's like a level 7. That's not awful. But now we're seeing decks being able to abuse it and do it every turn. It's almost like their game plan half the time is to just keep you under Ruin mode consistently. I think it's just the equivalent of any other floodgate that people are upset about, right? Like Mirage, BT11 Mirage, people are upset about. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Dragon Links cards, the new level 6s for Dragon Links. I think both of those don't really incentivize healthy gameplay. And then the new what's it? Fighter mode, the virus fighter mode that's coming out in BT20. Also just as toxic, man. Like I'm not ever going to be a big fan of things that stop your opponent from playing the game. And that's like a big thing for me, honestly. What's your take?
I completely agree. Like, even if you look at his board right now, he's got 2 scrambles set up, so if he wants to recycle this Ruin mode for 2 additional turns, he can. It's like, and that's a lot of Ruin mode to deal with. Like, it's kind of the argument of banning versus limiting something. Like, even now, with the scrambles in the game, is anything ever truly at 1?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at least that becomes true for Digimon. Like, we can still put options to 1, and as long as you're not purple running BT2 mat or whatever, those options should be long gone. Or I guess Lilithmon also recovers you an option. There's a couple ways to recur options, but having to use them that ability up, I think, is valuable in itself.
I think that's something else that purple has access to that a lot of other colors don't, that are making it see the level of viability that we see in the meta. We see the burst mode, or the GX Ace, but it immediately died. I just don't think it was enough.
Yeah, and then the overflow wasn't really that great. I think because we're just constantly looping, we just can't play the game.
I mean, I respect it. Like, might as well try. See how... Like, if you've acknowledged that this game isn't going your way, you might as well try it to see what your opponent does. That way you have more information going into game 2.
No, absolutely.
So it might be that's what his intention was, and if that's the case, I fully agree with his play. Because he is certainly ensured that his opponent is going to give him put another Ruin mode out.
Oh my god. Here it goes again. Oh, we're gonna Kaiser nail out the Tau. Oh my goodness.
That's really silly.
This is wild.
Like Taumon is an overtuned card. Like, you look at Magna Angemon Ace, and then you look at Taumon Ace, and you're like, one of these is clearly better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. No, Bandai's not the best when it comes to properly supporting all the archetypes introduced in a single set. I'll never forget that, oh, man, there's just, like, you just go back to, like, BT11. Just, like, compare what Black War Grey did in its time versus any of the other decks in BT11. It's funny now that two of the other decks from that set are now a little bit more relevant, along with Galacti is kind of funny.
Right.
But like fundamentally, at the time, those other decks were unplayable.
No, you're absolutely right.
Oh, and Puppets is gonna scoop it up here. They're just locked, man. Or did they actually just lose through attacks? They might have just lost through attacks, actually.
They lost through attacks. There was a Sakuya X that brought down tokens, and the Sakuya X gives the tokens rush.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really cool inclusion in a deck like this, because it allows you to be more aggressive in situations where you need burst damage while you have your opponent under a lock.
Yeah.
Because this deck's the main way you stop this deck is you get one turn where you're not in that lock, and then you just overwhelm them.
Yeah.
And his opponent just never gave him that chance.
Yeah, man, that was... And I see you guys talking about in the chat, Avenged Kidmon lets you recycle options, along with Paladin loops you cards. I think there's a slight... I think it's fair to say there's a slight difference between returning cards to your deck, like, specifically the bottom of the deck too, right? Than making it your next draw, so you can literally use it on your exact turn even. Or just like reclaiming it straight from the trash to your hand. I think those are slightly different, but I could just be wrong.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I really like the scrambles because I think they're super healthy for the game. I think a deck should have access to all of its plays at any given point.
Yes,
that just
I kind of agree.
And it's like that's a card that kind of ensures that. And so I do like the design of the scrambles. However, we have to take that into mind when considering cards coming out in the future.
Yeah.
Like the way that HPD made it so that every green level 6 was super expensive to evolve into. We have to really be careful about what we're printing now that everything is on a loop.
Yeah, and then like, but that same logic, like that when they introduce a card like Scramble, like that's great when they're thinking forward, right? Like it's like, all right, from now on we have to design cards because these scrambles are in the game. But oftentimes going forward isn't the problem. It's all the stuff behind it that suddenly is like, well, now this is kind of cracked. Like, I mean, if it wasn't for Numemon X being banned and being such a centerpiece to what Numemon was back in 16, like you were saying, I mean, right now with scrambles, that would be ridiculous. Like, you would clear a Numemon board if it wasn't like a minus 5k DP sweep or something, like a ruin mode. Numemon would just have so much available to them.
That deck was already playing Protoform. We just got access to Gallantmon X. Like,
oh my god,
we keep getting new Broken X antibodies. Like, Numemon keeps getting better, and people don't realize that. Like, you joke, but I think Numemon could win a regional very, very soon.
Wow. No, I mean it topped towards the end of the 2024 season, right? There was a Texas regional. I think it was Ryan the Neighbor actually was able to top an event with Numemon, like probably at its weakest since BT16 post ban list and everything. That was.
I don't think he even had access to Shadow Serafi yet.
No, he did not. Because Shadow Serafi was wait. Well, when was that released? That was EX8.
That was.
Oh no, that was
2.0.
2.0, right, because it goes along with all the frontier stuff. Yeah, we didn't have 2.0 yet. It was all we were still in the before time. So what was that?
That's incredible.
17 like, Secret Crisis. We were still in Secret Crisis, yeah.
Yeah, that was when Nume was absolutely at its weakest. Kudos to that guy. That takes some skill. Like showing up to a tournament like that with Nume, that takes some cojones.
Absolutely.
So we see the puppet player going pretty wide, and I like to see it. He recognizes that he needs to put on pressure early because at any point he could just get rune moded.
Yeah, honestly. Looks like we're playing. Looks like on the blue side too. We're just really just using the blue bottom end to. I'm still trying to figure out like what is the core reason to be using this blue bottom end. It looks like we're focused on all the floodgates. That's first and foremost. Another
Renamon.
Oh, does that Renamon Digivolve on blue? Is that?
It does not.
Oh, okay. No, it doesn't.
Like,
no, I thought maybe because of the alternative being set, we just kind of made Renamon blue from now on, but no.
No. Yeah, maybe there's something that we're both missing, because I don't understand that choice either. Like, I get it that blue has really good floodgates and that the egg is pretty good, but even still, he's not playing the best egg that he could be playing. Like, the Upamon from BT1 does the same thing, but it's more flexible.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what the strategy is here.
It's interesting,
maybe
though.
Maybe he has other blue options that he needs access to before he gets into the Kazuha.
Maybe we're thinking like Hammer Sparks. We're thinking or a Hammer Spark. I mean, I guess there's a world where you promote, it dies, and then like you want to be able to Kaiser Nail out, Kaiser Nail out the Talmon without necessarily needing to go into Kazuha. That could be one thing. That was also the same regional. Burrito and I took first and second. That the Numemon topped. Yeah, I remember it was there. I was so man. I do not look at that tournament fondly, but congrats to your guys' success for sure.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. 17 was also when Gallant got that amazing level 6, so it was even harder on Numemon. Yeah, but Gallant wasn't really being played. I would say that like the nerfs, the banlist plus Pyldra, or like Imperial in general, was like a big was a big silver bullet to Numemon, because they could just sidestep so much of what Numemon even wanted to do. It was kind of crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I played into Imperial, I was like, "Thank God, this matchup is so free."
Oh, really?
As a Numemon player, like you want to see Imperial, because the second you drop a Valk on a Paildramon, you feel so good.
Oh, true, Valk.
And you're just like, you cannot play the game anymore. It's like, I don't care if you strip my sources, my cards are still good.
Honestly, Valk is why I try to fit in. Valk is so good that I try to fit it in any yellow deck right now. Just like puppets. I've built puppets a little bit. I try to fit Valk, like just like, I guess to be fair, Partition and all the Partitioners and Imperial are just kind of gone right now, right? Like Imperial isn't really existence. I think most people have moved on to Purple Hybrid in terms of if you were an Imperial bandwagoner. I would say I say that lovingly, not scornfully.
I think the big thing was the introduction of Hexablaumon, because with Hexablaumon, any blue deck like Mirage or the Galaxy Loop just has an out to your Imperial stack. Like, you turn off Partition because you just strip the sources. You suddenly don't have enough sources to fighter mode them. You can't even attack, which is Imperial's big thing, is turning their card sideways. So Hexablau really kneecapped that deck. And every blue deck was playing it. Yeah.
I mean, Imperial also really even took advantage of Hexblaw as well, right? Like, they were just so, it's just so easy to have so many sources now. And then in the mirror match, it gets even, like, ruder because you just start bottom decking their key tamer that they need to even play the game.
It's like, oh, did you need that Daikin?
That sucks.
Yep.
That's like,
oh, well.
It's crazy to me because I used to complain that, like, wow, Imperial doesn't have any way to realistically play its tamers like many other decks do. Like, the only way you could was, like, this dragon mode ace that was letting you play, like, 4-cost Davis Kens, I guess, somewhere. And actually, here's kind of like I guess this is the reason why we're playing blue, right?
That makes sense.
A play like this, the blue lets us just have early access to Kaiser Nail without, again, going into Kazuha.
Oh, and he gets a... Is that this? Does this one get a token too? I guess it does. This is the new one.
Yeah, I guess this is the new one that gives us a token, and then we're going to go into Kazuha off of that. I guess we played Scramble.
Oh, Jesus. He's going so wide. If he drops a ruin mode here, the puppet player is really on the back foot, even though Marshmallow Ruffian is only at 1 security.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of the loop, and there it is right there. The loop is just gonna have been started, and I don't think it ends.
All right, so note to self, if you haven't bought blue cards yet, or if you don't have a playset of that card, make sure that you acquire it before Talmon Loop makes this card go up.
Oh my god, it's probably already up, isn't it? Like, people were expecting, I feel like most people were expecting Tal Loop and all of this shenanigan, right?
You're probably right. Maybe the card still only stays like 40 cents, but better safe than sausage.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of sausage.
We got a full board.
Blue card. And it's literally called blue card.
With the Otama out, this guy can't even Death X either.
Oh yeah, right. Because you can't. Like, oh my god.
Medieval Gallant would be really good, but in this case, you're not big enough to swing over the problematic cards, and you don't have enough memory to do that without passing. So, Medieval Gallant is a potential out. Maybe Edamon into some secret ace that he's hiding. I'm trying to think. What other ways can you think of that this puppet player can get out of this board state?
I don't know, man. It would have to be like you'd have to somehow be able to stop them from looping. So like, I mean, are we looking at like a world where we just need all these flood? Oh, man, like there's nothing that says like can't digivolve by effect, right? I know there's the new Reapermon that there's an interesting Reapermon for the Ghost right now that says if your opponent digivolves by effect, de-digivolve it, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that is really fun.
So like they could go, if you do that, they go into Kazuha, and then like you can in theory just like de-digivolve them and they just lose a lot of that value.
There's a card that I really like playing in Nume, and it's the Kokuamon. I forget what set it's from, but it's the
it's so old.
Players can't digivolve by ignoring Digivolution requirements.
That wouldn't help here, right?
That would very much help here. It really helps in a blue hybrid because they can't do the Lobo combo.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, because the Kendo and the Lobo can't go into a 6. But like, are we ignoring Digivolution requirements at any stage here? I don't think we are.
I don't think we are. I think we're just going cheaper.
Yeah, I think it's just cost reduction or ignoring because Digivolution requirements isn't the memory that it takes to digivolve, right? Digivolution requirements usually is the little bubble on the left, right? So the colors you can digivolve on top of, or in like, you know, the name box case for Greymon, for example, those are all Digivolution requirements.
Yeah, so you're not ignoring any of those. You could use something like I guess this is another reason why he's playing the blue base eggs, is that he has access to Siakomon. Because Siakomon would mean that he can't scramble reduce. So if he activates the scramble, he still has to pay full cost for the evolution. Like in the mirror match, mind you. Like if he has this Yako out, then I guess that could be a thing. Like maybe like we see floodgates like that start to increase in play. But I don't know. It's kind of hard because if you think about it, any floodgate that you could really play against something like this, they just have ways to remove them.
Yeah. And the ruin mode will heal and then delete our medieval, which, yeah, I mean, we did exactly that play for full cost. We were able to get like overflow some memory and deal with some stuff. Looks like we're trying to just get rid of our own board. Ooh, scramble. Oh no, it's Wonder Stomp. Lets us draw a card and then play a puppet from our hand. Do we also get to play from trash?
If he's still under rune mode, he can't.
Yeah, I mean, he can, but he can't, right?
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, it's hard.
Good luck sticking a Siako when your DP's minus true.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I was saying. It's like, even if you stick a floodgate against a deck like this, they're just going to blow it up. Yeah, it's hard.
And we don't even have a rookie in the back, so our hand is not the best from our Puppet Rush player.
No.
What are you looking forward to playing in this set, the 2.5, once it's finally released?
I'm really excited for to mess around with Crossheart the way that nobody intended to play Crossheart.
Okay.
Like, I want to play Crossheart with as little Shoutmon as possible in as many ways as I can, and I want to play
Really?
Digimon.
So you just don't want Rush? We don't like Rush.
Correct. I don't want to Digicross. I want to play a cross deck with no crossing.
Oh, I'm actually like, funny enough, like the more I see, I guess I'm mentally more thinking 21, but since we're talking about Cross, I might as well talk about its cousin, Save, or Hunters. Like, I'm kind of excited to go back to Hunters when BT21 comes out. Like, another Arrestrogemon sounds kind of nice, but like mostly that new Tamer. Plus, like, some of the Shoutmons that exist now, like, and you can even play the new Taiki. Like, like, Hunters has got some spice coming up that I'm really looking forward to, honestly.
See, and when 21 comes out, I'm gonna be a full-time armor player.
Oh, is that you were talking about Magnum on X earlier? Is that your game? I like how they fully power creeped the original Flamedramon and the original Lydramon.
Correct. Yeah, no, those cards they don't exist anymore. The promo Flamedramon, though, that card is still good.
That one's alright. Yeah.
We still play that.
Alright, so Taumon hits the board.
Into a Medieval Gallant, so if he doesn't resolve it at the end of this combo, he's gonna get punished.
Right.
So I really do like this Medieval play with the Tamer and the boost. It ensures that you can, if you survive this, at least have some semblance to get back in the game.
What's crazy to me is that thinking about back earlier, did we not we medievaled, right? We popped what did we delete with the attack? We attacked into we got rid of the token and then we attacked into something else because the Otama's still on the board, the Renamon's still on the board. Something didn't fully.
I believe it was the other level 6.
Oh, was it a level 6 that we were able to get rid of? Okay. Oh, we're gonna Kaiser Nail again. See, like this here, like we got the Otama we could have gotten rid of. Okay, so then the Sakuya can use the Kaiser Nail? Is that what's happening? Yeah. And then Tau will use the scramble.
And this will go into a rune mode or another Sakuya.
Yeah.
Let you go into another token. Draw some more cards. Man, this deck cycles so much.
Yeah.
It's like, did you not see your pieces? Well, that's kind of your fault.
4, 5. Okay, no ruin. So this should end the loop. Or the sequencing, giving space for the puppet player to finally resolve Medieval Gallant.
Correct.
So Medieval Gallant will resolve here. We'll probably just suspend the Siaka or the Sakuya with the Taumon under. But we probably just have too many attacks, right? Like, so the key is we can suspend one of the tokens potentially. And then delete the unsuspended Sakuyamon or the Sakuyamon. You have
to delete a suspended Digimon with Medieval Gallant.
It has to be suspended? I thought it could be anything.
It has to be. I think it has to be suspended. I can pull it up real quick.
Medieval. When digivolving, you may suspend one Digimon. Then you may delete one of your opponent's 8k or lower Digimon. For each suspended Digimon, add 3k. Yeah, so it can be anything.
Okay, cool. So then, yeah, no, that would actually put him back in the game.
Okay, so we're gonna suspend the 6 and then delete the 6 with the Taumon under. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Overflow 3.
I don't know if these tokens have Rush.
They
I know
don't.
Sakuya X gets tokens with Rush. Okay, these ones don't.
These are blocker tokens.
Okay. So many interesting cards in 2.5. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know you said you're excited for Hunters. Is there anything else you're looking forward to?
I might end up playing the adventure deck. I know that's not 2.5. My brain's kind of already in 21 for whatever reason.
That's fair.
But I will say that yeah, no, I might build the adventure deck. Like for me, the only decks I enjoy playing since I've started in BT4, I'm always been a player that like I care about the picture more than anything. So like for me, if it's not Lobomon or Garurumon, I don't really want to play it.
That Angemon art told you, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. We know what we're doing here, and we're gonna do it in public. That being said, oh man, this is just too much on the board, man.
Yeah, I don't want to like give the competitor commentator's curse, but I truly don't see a way out.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm hoping that this puppet player can show me something.
Gallant Ace? Oh wait, no. Bond. It would have to be Bond. Bond of Bravery. Which one deletes up to? I can't think. Like I know. I think Gallant deletes one thing up to 15k, but Bond.
No, it's a combined total of 15k.
Oh, is Gallant the one where you can spread it out? So yeah, like Gallant. Ace.
Bond is a single target.
Oh, okay. So I had it backwards. So Gallant, yeah. So if we Gallant Ace, potentially we just clear out all the rookies and move on. But we are under minus 5k, so the Gallant would be a 10k. No, it'd be 15k regardless. It's again confusing Bond and Gallant.
Right. And it's still be hard. Like you're constantly playing under a rune mode, so you can't even like alliance to get yourself bigger without sticking something huge. Mm-hmm. The best case scenario would be to play a second medieval Gallant and then have the both effects trigger in tandem. That would be sick.
With one already in the grave, though,
exactly,
that might not be possible.
And yellow, like he's not even playing like an in color scramble to kind of recur it, so it's hard. It's like I'm kind of thinking about purple hybrid. You can play like the black Growlmon to kind of recur a card with Gallantmon in the name, so you can even tech cards like medieval Gallant after you mill it, and then just evolve your purple rookie into black Growlmon, get it back, and then just go to town. Like this card, I think we're going to see a lot in the upcoming sets, even more than we already have, just because it's especially with all of the dual color stuff that we're getting in 21. Like this card is going to be even more splashable than it already was. Oh, and we see the GX.
We're gonna go into GX. I don't even remember what this card does half the time. Ugh. And Eggman still hasn't updated to the new stuff. So sad.
So this is the old GX. So this is the one that lets him tuck, and he's gonna get security attack up for every Royal Knight. He's gonna have like piercing, blocker.
He's also gonna be able to resolve the when digivolving whichever Royal Knight he puts under.
Yeah. So if he gets a Ganku here. Yeah, you got a Ganku. So
which Ganku is that? Is that the? That's one.
It's Ganku X.
Okay, so it's the old one, I think.
Yeah, so his cards cannot be removed from the field, and he can't have his DP reduced.
That's kind of hype.
Yep, that's one way around a ruin mode. I believe
don't think it's enough. He can what?
I believe that means he can play cards now.
Yeah, because none of his Digimon can be, or at least his Sistermons can't be reduced. But incredible. That doesn't. I was hoping maybe we could find a way to play a Digimon first, even if it's gonna get deleted, just to trigger our medieval. Because we could have, like, it's still we could have played a Digimon, even if it gets deleted by the minus DP of Ruin. We would have been. We still would. The medieval would have still seen it, and we would have been able to trigger a pop. I guess is where my brain's going.
I agree with what you're saying, but then you don't have the opportunity to attack. So it's one of those.
Well, we have Blitz, right, on this guy.
Oh yeah. Probably. But I forget. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think we do have Blitz. But we hit a scramble, so that kind of doesn't matter. We lose a body anyway. Do we have a way to? Is there a way to go for game here? So we're talking about DPs, but we're immune to the DP. Oh wait, are we not? Is that not the Genku that makes us immune to DP reduction?
It should be.
Why aren't the cameras lined up? Are they not? I guess on my end I guess cameras are lined up, I guess. Oh, are you saying flip the bottom one? Let me see. Oh, we just lost. I think they gave up. I think they yeah, Puppets just called it a day.
Yep.
Let's see if we can find another table. We should have a lot of time left. That was pretty fast. We can do birds. Table 1 has birds. Table 2, ooh, Royal Knights. Let's go to table 5, Royal Knights.
Table 5 sounds good.
Hopefully it's not an awful experience. Bum, 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 bum.
I like Royal Knights. I think that deck has always been a little gimmicky, and a little slow, but it's a lot of fun to play. Like,
yeah, it is cool. Like, I definitely like. It comes from the idea that, like, you know, back in 1.5, BT3, BT4, people like really liked the idea of Mega Zoo.
Yeah,
and then
that was a lot of fun.
And then yeah, so like being able to actually officially make Mega Zoo style decks and mechanics is something I think a lot of people have taken heart to. I've been on record saying that, like, I didn't like the new support for Royal Knights. But that being said, I highly underestimated the power of all the new Royal Knights we've gotten since BT16, I would say. Like this new Jesmon, this new Alphamon, this new what else can they run? The Aces they can suddenly run. The new Lord Knight, the purple black Lord Knight. There's just so many new level 6s that do a lot for the deck that I was definitely underestimating for a while. And this is also red and purple Imperial on the other side as well.
Yeah, I just noticed that. That's interesting. I am not a believer in red purple Imperial.
Why is that?
I just have never vibed with it. It's just, it feels like it needs one more combo piece at any given point than the blue-green build.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that this new support changes my opinion, because I really love watching this deck pop off whenever it gets going. It's just a really exciting deck to see. Like, this is the perfect deck for a spectator.
yeah, no. It feels like Alter S a little bit to me too. I know what you mean. It's just like when you get to see the full combo pop off, it's like you're just jumping out of your chair with joy watching it happen. But when you're the opponent and it's happening to you, you're just like, man, ban this thing. The hell?
Not only that, but whenever, like, every time I've played against Red Purple Imperial, I just happen to be playing Magnamon X.
Okay.
And it's one of those things that you don't even really have to read your opponent's cards if you're playing Magna X into the old Red Purple style Imperial, because they just can't do anything to you.
Dang. So I guess Red Purple Imperial took it here.
It looks like.
All right, so we're gonna.
So
have to...
yeah, no, it looks like he's got legs. Like, he went up into 2 fighter modes. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what this deck can do moving forward.
Yeah, no, like I think it's just like a mix of things now that they have, like the new Dino B for partition gives them a lot of flexibility. Plus the new cards allow particular combos to happen now, and then like the recursion is higher. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Let me see if I can find another match. I'm a little distracted now.
That's fair. Let's see. I think table 6 is still going.
Table 6 is still going. So it's table 1. Let's see if anything fancy is at table 6. Looks like table 6 actually is wrapped up.
Okay.
Ooh, blue hybrid versus birds. I love me some blue hybrid. So table 1.
Me too. Yeah, blue hybrid is a deck that I've always vibed with.
Yeah, I mean, I get why people have like an allergic reaction to it, because they always remember the time in which red, purple, or blue hybrid was Tommy and Tommy stun with all the floodgates and just not letting your opponent play. When I say blue hybrid, I'm not talking, Tommy's a nerd. We're not talking about Tommy. I'm not talking about Kumamon. We're talking about Koji. We're talking about Magna Garurumon. We're talking about swinging with jamming and getting some cool effects off with my favorite Wolfman.
Big blue cards that turn sideways and draws pieces.
Exactly.
We don't need to stun here. What's the point in stunning when you can just get the cards off the board?
We just win, man. I'm just gonna win instead.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna promote the Biomon.
Words is so neat. Especially now that we're getting like generic good red cards like the Medieval Gallant and the Gallantmon Crimson Mode Ace. Like,
I think it's wild how much generic. Like, you would think that Birds is like. Birds is more generic than people think. Like this BO, for example, all you have to do is pitch a vaccine card. And then you get to search the top 5 for any red card. As we see, we're going to pick up the Gallant, or the Crimson Ace there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. Like, that's a virus. That's not even an archetype.
That's not, yeah, exactly.
And the tame, like, this deck having access to some of these tamers too. Like, every time I pick up these tamers and read them whenever somebody plays Birds across from me, I'm like, wait a second, it does all this?
Mm-hmm. It does so much. We might even see 3 security. Birds might win here.
It's very possible. Like, he can potentially play something, give something rush. Like, he's got multiple
Wait,
swings.
can he bring back the Sora there? Is Sora generic too? I thought you had to bring back a bird. I gotta look this up.
Yeah, I would. I wouldn't trust me on that one.
Sora. Let's see if I can find it.
Oh, but he's playing the Garuda.
When a red Digimon card returns, so it is generic. What you have to play is in archetype though. So we play the Garuda, which is actually, or Garuda Ace, which is an archetype. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. No, again, I was just talking about how, like, Birds is just so randomly ungeneric when you would least expect it.
Yeah, and it's like, you always talk to the bird player that's at the event, and they're just vibing. Like, they're always good people.
Oh, did we hit time? I guess I didn't put the clock on the screen, but it looks like we just hit time. Oh no, we're having disconnection issues. Uh-oh.
Nothing looks like it moved on the Garuru player's end, but I guess that's up to
No, I think everything's fine in terms of both players are regulars. So I wouldn't be on the lookout. I wouldn't have my ears perked at like trying to fish out any sus, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like we're playing for a stamped Omnimon or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that being said, we just resolved the Garuda Ace, which will play the Sora.
Another X.
Yeah, I think we just have everything. And even the trash is set up where we're going to pick up. Looks like Birdramon. BT11 Birdramon.
Deck that watching it combo is just super fun.
It's fun, but it's a pain as a commentator sometimes, man, because it's just so many little effects to keep track of. And
That's fair.
We're gonna play a third Garuda X. I don't think Garuda X can pick anything up anymore.
I think this man likes Garuda X.
It's a good card. All these guys have Rush now. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Attack.
And then if he gets to delete something and play something back and then give that Rush, then he's potentially got it. Or if he can give something a security attack up. Like if he protoforms. Yeah!
We're going to protoform into Phoenix. Yep. That's going to be for 4. And I think that's 2 checks right then and there. And if it's not, I think we get to pop the inheritable that lets us delete anyway. Or trash a security, which the last Garuda as Ace will take care of for us. We can just attack, right? Oh, we're gonna play delete. and that's just game, because at the end of the day, the Garuda Ace the Garuda X will be able to attack for game. Yeah, no, 3 security. Like with that much memory, there's no way they weren't gonna be able to pull that off. Just too much.
If you don't know what this deck does, like, and you play against it, man, you're gonna learn really quick.
Yeah. Man, what an interesting game. But that being said, I think that's it. That's pretty much it. Like, there may be at best one more table. These players they should be done. Like, it's timing round. Let's take it to the commentator screen real quick. But yeah, no, what a fun round 1. All right, it's at the end of the round, you guys know how it is. You guys, 43 people watching. Again, thank you very much. Let's sell out about a little bit. First and foremost, let's talk about who I got sitting to my left today. We got TCG Tamer, famous janky deck builder, been around forever. And it's fun to actually get to talk to you the first time. You got anything to say about yourself? Sell yourself? Sell out? Any new videos coming out?
I got Rapidmon with Lord Nightmon as a top end coming out. Yeah, we try to build some fun stuff and top some regionals with it, and it's always a good time.
Right. But, no, I've been a fan. You got a Green Ranger deck profile. He's got a fun. He's talking about Crossheart. A nice Crossheart toolbox deck list. Those are the most recent 2 that I ended up watching. So if you guys want to see that. A lot of people like the Green Ranger one. Like, you got a cool, like, I think that was thumbnails at work, bro. You put the king himself on the thumbnail and people just clicked. That's all it was.
Yeah, that was a decision for sure.
Oh yeah. That being said, let's continue the sellout. You guys are watching Eagle's Nest every Monday, 7:30, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. You guys know what to do. You guys want to join? It's the 2.5 proxy tournament. You're just gonna see it for the rest of the week. We're diving deep into 2.5, no more, and we're not seeing a lot of purple hybrid today, which is kind of fun. So join the Discord, all links in the description as always below. Please sign up, join, do what you got to do. On top of that, we got a couple other sellouts to do. We got the this one, Eggman double win a box coming up March 4th. Check it out. Link is not in the description below because I'm awful, but eggmanevents.com should be able to find either the Discord or any announcements that need to be done for that. Yours truly will be hosting. We don't know who will be code casting with me that night, but we will get it done. We'll get to show off some exciting BT 2.5 stuff. Biggest important thing to talk about is Eggman is a little more strict in terms of what kind of proxies you can have. Eagle's Nest, we famously allow people to play on sticky notes with their proxies. Eggman, not so much. They have to be printed out proxies of the cards themselves if we want a proxy at the Eggman tournament. To continue from that,
Do they need to be colored proxies?
They don't need to be colored proxies. It just has to be an image of the actual card, and along with the text. So just print out the real card, but the black and white is fine, I imagine. That being said, the next thing was the PPG webcam case tournament coming up this Sunday. If you want, it's an EX8 tournament. So yeah, I think just look forward to it. This Sunday, I'll be streamed right here by yours truly. Don't know don't have a plan for who my co-commentator will be for that event, but support me, support all the tournaments out there. PPG, great people. They post everywhere. Honestly, they're everywhere with everything. Lorcana, Magic, just check out their site. Do everything you got to do to support, people that are supporting Digimon. I think that's the key thing our community really needs to get done. One more thing, Ultimate Cup this Saturday. I don't know if they've announced who's streaming it or who's commentating it yet. That being said, it doesn't matter who's commentating it. There will be a stream, so check out Carta Magica or even play, man. I think signups are still live until like Friday, so sign up to Ultimate Cup. It's the last chance to get the Shine Greymon stuff. So yeah, no webcam and everything. You guys know. Oh, Digimon. This is the right. I forgot. Did you forget that we both went to the Pokemon National Tournament back in January? TCG Tamer.
What's up?
Wait. You didn't. Did you watch the finals or when they were at the award ceremony when the announcer called it the Pokemon National Tournament?
Yeah, I did. It is
Oh.
what it is.
What like of all the things that you shouldn't mess up on stage, I feel like that's probably number one. Rule 0 even.
Know what game you're commentating? Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Ultimate Cup Saturday, and then here's the week schedule, guys. Bi-weekly schedule. We got a lot of webcam tournaments hosted by the community, and here we're trying to support them all while we can. Always check the organizer for any changes, but like I said, Monday, Thursday, Eagles Nest. You guys know where we are at. Doo Destin. Win a box on Wednesday, DMV Drake's bi-weekly on Tuesday, and then DigiGalaxy. I still need to look up DigiGalaxy. Have you heard of DigiGalaxy? Because I feel bad, but I need the chat to help me on educating, like, I guess both of us on the lore of who DigiGalaxy and what they're all about is. It's probably the one I know the weakest.
These other people I've all seen before. But yeah, no, I'll be looking up DigiGalaxy's content.
Right. So, chat, educate us, help us out, and I should be like time and round, but no one's at this table yet. Meaning the round hasn't been paired yet. So that being said, I will say we will cut to a quick break, and I'll see you guys for round 2. And we're back. We got round 2. We got table 2. We got, I can't tell what it is at the top. Wait. No, this is gonna be red, purple, Imperial. Red Purple Imperial at the top versus whatever Tessero's playing. I don't know what he's playing, but famous Twitch streamer of Digimon card game. I'm sure they're streaming right now, so check them out if you'd rather see them, because it's definitely, I definitely see the value in, oh, we're both playing Red Purple Imperial. This is a mirror match. Oh, okay.
Ooh,
that's gonna be interesting.
I mean, this makes sense. Tessero likes his loops. Imperial is a deck that loops all its cards back.
Oh yeah.
Mist. Is that standard?
Mist? I can see it being standard. I can see a reason why you would need to have quick ways to fill up your trash. So I was thinking like Analog Youth probably has value. Mist, I'm always hit or miss on Mist Memory Boost, but I can always see why people want to play Mist Memory Boost.
I agree. The fact that it's not controlled makes it a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard, right? But like most of those like mill cards are, right? We're talking Analog Youth, we're talking Mist. What's the other? Darkness Wave. Most of those are not controlled unless you go through, like, that's why for the longest time people were debating on like what's the best way to go about Fenrir Lugamon, right? Is it the discard engine or is it just like the blank mill? And I think blank mill or blind mill kind of won out in the long run.
It's just so fast.
Yeah.
Like, you can blindly mill yourself really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mist was standard in old Imperial. Don't know about modern. That's fair. No, I'm not super aware of where Imperial wants to be. I know there's a lot of hype in Japan right now about it. That being said, like, this is the first time, like, I mean, like, unification's happening, right? Like, we're getting this set this week, next week, depending on if the delays are real or not real or whatever. I'm getting like mixed results nowadays about what's actually happening anymore. But like this is gonna be the first time we get a set of cards when Japan's only had it for like what, 2-3 weeks. Like nothing's been established in Japan yet, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Interesting to see Empoleon Master playing the red tie. I really like that inclusion.
Right, the extra security check. The problem is, like, I feel like with like red tie is always a -1 in your hand, right?
You're right.
So like, you have to really, really need the extra security check, and I wonder what the. That being said, maybe it allows for that extra security check that just lets you go for game 1 turn faster, which could be the difference maker.
Well, it also will trigger with your level 5 most of the time. So if you find a way to make your 5 swing in safely, then that card is just a lot of free damage.
That's true. The Wormmon is going to be attacking here. This Wormmon doesn't have an on deletion. I think it's an on play Wormmon.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can bring it up.
Searcher for the back.
Oh, it is an on deletion, but I think we're long since past the time it allows. No, wait. I don't know. Oh, that's the older Wormmon. Oh, there's so many. That's just the on-play search 3, add 1 purple, and then trash 1 such card.
Mm-hmm.
Tessero not going for any kind of combo, just going for a little bit of a protractor 90-degree angle aggression.
Hey, I mean, in 2 decks that want to wear each other down, it makes sense.
All right, so we just straight pass from Tessero. We attack twice and pass, so our hand is not. I imagine that means our hand isn't great from Tessero, especially since we just gave up that much memory. We're going to miss memory boost ourselves from Empoleon at our top player here.
I imagine Tessero wants to keep the cards in his hand and doesn't want to commit them to the board, because if they're on the board, they're not safe. Right. Maybe it's something that he's still digging for extra pieces, and he only has enough to proceed as his game plan intends.
Mm-hmm. I imagine this is one of the new level 4s or the promo. Hard. It's a little hard. This is a little bit of why. This would be a reason as to why Eggman's a little more strict on the proxies, right? It's for situation. It's for the viewing experience, if anything. Not that like it matters. Like we're players first here at Eagles Nest, so we don't care.
Right.
But realistically, we don't know what that card is right now.
Well, and we know it's gonna be a purple red level 4 that's in this deck's archetype, and we know that those don't really do a lot past the initial like
When
like
digivolving or
Lollipop-
something, yeah.
Yeah. So like he's got value when it comes back around to his turn, but right now it's a level 4.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. He establishes the Wormmon in the back, so his next turn looks like he can do something pretty. Tessero's just building in the back. I think he thinks that he's not going to get lethal on this following turn, but we're sitting on a Memory Tamer and a boost on Empoleon Master's side, so
Yeah.
Tessero's in danger here.
He's in danger. Yeah, no, I don't see it. Like he's got the BT16 Wormmon, so he's ready to digivolve. But that would be a play that would pass turn being able to digivolve into that Wormmon, right? But if our trash is set up, we hard play that Wormmon, digivolve into what, XV? No, we're just gonna digivolve. Oh, we're gonna go level 5 in the back. Okay.
Interesting.
Would Davis Ken BT16 work in red, purple, Imperial? I think the jury's out on that. I like as in, or actually no, that's the opposite. I do not think the jury is out on that yet. It's just awkward, right? You only realistically get half the card. You only get the memory, and you only get the ability to play the rookies. And I don't think red, purple, Imperial is really struggling for free bodies on the board. You know what I mean? But I could be wrong. I do see it being ran. Like, people are trying it. Is it, like, the end-all, be-all? I'm not sure.
So I think it'd be something that people would develop towards as the meta progressed. Like, if you find specific sources to be problematic, then you could absolutely tech things like the old, like, or different level 5 DNA targets, or even something like a Chimera to tuck sources. But those cards are so out of archetype that finding pieces like that becomes inconsistent, so you'd have to have a really strong reason to want to go for something like that.
Got you. Yeah, that's how I see it as well.
It's something that we could see. It'd be one of those things that you'd have to look at why.
Another discussion point here is actually right here. We're going into the BT16 Dino Beat, which is going to let us play a rookie or a free type, any Digimon even, for free. I guess that means there's no Pyeldramon in the trash set up for our Empoleon player here, because I don't see why we wouldn't want to go into Pyeldra and just go into Dragon.
I agree with you, but like we've seen Tessero mill and put more cards in his trash than Empoleon Master has, but Empoleon Master has a better established board, so it's one of those things that this deck specifically needs to strike an interesting balance with not only how you deck build, but how you approach the given game state. So we're gonna see, is it the old Dragon mode down?
I think this is the old Dragon mode, yeah.
Okay,
this is definitely,
so
because the new one's an Ace, yeah.
The new fighter is fantastic, so this is exactly what he was looking for.
Alright, so when digivolving, if DNA'd, we didn't have Blitz, right? So, because we didn't DNA, but we just digivolved and then attacked? Is that what we did?
So I think the
Dino Bee attack.
There's a way that this deck does its attack. I'm blanking on it. I think it might be the Dragon mode.
I know the Dragon mode when attacking lets us digivolve into Fighter mode. I'm just trying to figure out how we actually got the attack to go through like that.
Is the attack on the new 2.5?
Oh no, the Blitz happens no matter what. Never mind. I'm reading the Dragon mode incorrectly. My mistake.
Understood. Okay.
Because it's if DNA'd, your opponent, blah blah blah, choose a Digimon, delete it, then Blitz. So the Blitz happens no matter what, which confusing way to do that, but whatever.
Yeah. And this is kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, we have these two players that are both very skilled, that are both missing like 1 or 2 combo pieces to go like full send on their opponent. And so I'm just kind of wondering if this is going to be better than the blue-green variant, just because it does need a little bit more setup because you have to play with your trash as well. But at the same time, it seems like its power plays are a lot more powerful. So there's definitely a balance to be struck here. We're seeing Tezero doing some math. Let's see.
Blitz does not necessarily happen if you are over the memory and activate new Pyodrome or Dino B effect. So the Evo does not match the timing to get the attack with Blitz. I think we just I think in this case, DMV, we just raw digivolved into that Dragon mode and blitzed. So you're probably right, but that's not the scenario that played up on the screen. Just so you're aware, because we did not DNA. Like the new Takuya BT21 won't work in my old Emperor Grey, but will work with the new Emperor Grey because it has tamers with different names. That's true. Spider Carnage. I think the new Takuya does work with the old stuff, just because mostly because the new Takuya Koji actually counts as 3 different names for tamers. So you can still get a lot of value out of that Takuya if you have the dual tamer on board. Granted, the new I say that, but the Takuya Koji counts as 3 names. One of those names being Takuya, so technically it's only adding 2 names to your rap sheet, I would say.
But that's still 1 tamer that's giving you 2 different tamer names. Like that's still good.
No, it's pretty strong. Yeah. What's up, Vire? It's my Maple Story buddy. It's my if anyone else plays that game, I'm sorry.
What is that game? I see you playing it all the time. What is that game?
It's a really old Korean MMO that rewards losing your life to killing endless monsters nonstop. That's all it is.
Gotcha.
It's not that deep, man, but man, do I love it.
Everybody's got to have a hobby.
That's true. As we play card games on the screen.
Yep. This is true.
Testro being able to actually full commit to their own go all the way into their own fighter mode. Now our opponent will not be able to play any 6K or less Digimon, or it's not play Digimon by effect at all, right? Or Tamer.
Yes, so I believe you are correct, which is just a super strong floodgate. It's, oh my God, especially into this mirror match. Like that's the entire strategy of what your opponent wants to do. Like he's having to raw play this worm.
Yeah, but at least that means we can Digivol. That's gonna still let us Digivol. I don't think we can DNA though, right?
We can DNA. I just don't think we can do anything after that.
Right? If we go into Dino B, we can at least attack, but we will not be able to play the extra body. You're right.
So is that worth it?
I don't know. I mean, it might be just a case of we're at 0 security and we have to do something, right? Hell yes. Wilds is going to be sick. Yeah, not going to be playing Digimon because of Wilds. That's fair. I've already had my spiel about why I'm not playing Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm not a fan of how Dual Blades makes you look like a Naruto LARPer. What about you? Are you a big fan of Monster Hunter? Is that your shtick in any way?
It is not. It looks like a lot of fun. I just don't have the time commitment.
That's fair. I respect that. I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah. It's one of those games that it's like, oh, you play Monster Hunter, so you don't play other games, right?
Maybe I could see that. That just always with Monster Hunter, there's always just like it's almost like this is probably gonna sound more insulting than it is. But it feels like it's just kind of Call of Duty. That just always feels like there's the next Monster Hunter coming out that everybody's excited for at this point. Probably was a Naruto LARPer himself. Yeah, maybe.
Is there anything wrong with being a Naruto LARPer, I guess? Like,
no. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't want to be looking like it, you know? That's all.
That's fair. That's fair. You've got a different public image.
Exactly. You get it, bro.
All right.
Great Sword since 2004. Yeah, so Great Sword I hear is actually like a lot of people are happy, and maybe I'm crazy. I think Great Sword wasn't great for a little bit, and now it's like a lot of people like the Great Sword changes that are being recently made. So I'm happy to hear that.
Awesome.
Spider, I'm gonna be playing Monster Hunter Wilds, but probably Wilds is gonna be sick. I'm happy everyone's happy. I'm sad that you guys don't have that dog anymore. The dog seemed really cool from Rise, and I think for the to catch you guys up on the game, Tessero does take that. Empoleon was not able to answer the fighter mode board while they were under that floodgate effect, unfortunately. Lance main since FU. I don't know what that one is. Freedom Unite. That's what it is. But picking up HH Hunting Horn and SNS Saturday Night Live. No, SNS. I don't know what that is.
I couldn't tell you either.
We have Chicken Dog. Oh, Chicken Dog. So Chocobos. I didn't know we were Final Fantasy now. Sword and Shield. Got it. Thank you. We got Giant Bird. That glides. Yeah, but you could add like wings to the dog. Like I don't know. I think the dog is a little cooler personally. Chocobos are great. Speaking of which, I'm kind of excited for the. You play any other card games, TCG Tamer?
I used to be a Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Okay.
I really vibe with Kaijudo, but that game's dead.
Rest in peace, Kaijudo. I remember this is forever ago. Oh my god, this is forever ago. This was 6th grade for me. I remember, because I'm saying 6th grade because I know Kaijudo used to be Duel Masters. So I remember my first pack of Duel Masters had Bullshock Dragon in it, and it was the sickest thing ever.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old Duel Masters was... That was a really fun game.
I'm right to say that, right? I think Kaijudo or Duel Masters became Kaijudo, right? Or in some, like, they use the same monsters or something.
Yeah, so what happened was they basically Wizards overextended. They released Duel Masters in Japan, and they released Magic in the US, right? And then they tried to release the other one to the respective region, and they both failed. Like, Duel Masters failed over here, and Magic failed in Japan. I guess Magic has had a resurgence in Japan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Magic's doing okay now, for sure. There's definitely a scene and everything. It might be like the equivalent to us and Digimon, for example. Like Magic's the biggest thing here, but Digimon's alright. It exists.
But Duel Masters in Japan has like 70-something sets at this point.
Oh, it's gross. It's insane. Yeah. But, yeah, no. The reason I bring it up is because the new Final Fantasy. We were just talking about Final Fantasy. Magic is getting a Final Fantasy set, so I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to that, personally.
I've seen the leaks for that Cactar card, and is that real?
Yeah, the Cactar card is definitely real. I don't know I don't know. That card is that sounds scary. I don't know about you guys.
And it's green too, so there's a way to give it like trample.
Oh, there are plenty of ways to give it trample, dude. Like, and you're in green too. G. Oh my God, rest in peace. Wait, Duel Masters is a Wizards IP. Yes, double whammy.
Yep. Yeah, they tried to do Kaijudo over here, and then set 13 or 14, they announced the next set. They're going, hey, we're going all digital. And so you have to rebuy all of your cards for our digital client. And then all the players were like, well, then we're not going to play this game anymore. And then that was it. They just stopped making the cards, stopped supporting this online client, and quietly let it die.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a little sad.
It is.
I wish Magic. I think Magic's getting better about this, and Fusion World could be better, but they're at least trying in the sense that every physical pack or every physical it's every physical pack. Every physical pack comes with a code, so you can have a pack on the client as well. I love that. I hope
Doing
that.
too.
I hope does Magic do that?
Or Pokemon was doing
Oh,
that.
Pokemon does. Yeah, I was gonna say Pokemon's the pioneer of doing that. They're on the next level in which that, like, if you buy like a product, let's say like you see them at Walmart everywhere all the time. It's the like comes with the giant Umbreon card with a pin or a toy. I forget what those are called.
So cool.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
I don't know what to call them. They're like the collector boxes or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
You'll get a code specifically for the collector box itself, so you can get in-game goodies and all of the like in the actual client as well, along with the packs of the code or the codes in the pack, which Fusion World doesn't really do that yet. Their starter decks are the same too. Pokemon starter decks, or I know Pokemon starter decks. Or do you mean Dragon Ball starter decks are also doing that? I hope Digimon gets something like that in the future. I hope so too. I think most people are hoping that Digimon gets a client. I just think that if Dragon Ball is an example of what happens, I don't think we're getting a Digimon one unless they announce a reboot of the game. Where's your take?
I especially with them leaning into these webcam events, right? It would just make sense for you to have an online client and then play games through the online client.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, you could even make it something so that you have to physically have the cards in order to register it for a deck. So that way Bandai's still selling product, because at that point, then you run the risk of Bandai not making money, and Bandai doesn't want that.
Yeah.
So you could implement something like that, but even anything like would be better than nothing. Like the fact that it took Huang Zero and a team of people to get that off the ground. Like, kudos to them. They did a fantastic job.
Oh, it's so great to have it, yeah.
But it's like the fact that we still, as a community, had to rely on a guy and his buddies is a little sad.
Yeah, and then like the rest of us like have to live in this like legally gray area of like, can we use it? Can we stream it? Can we make videos of it? Like it's we just have to live in this like legal gray like asylum in perpetuity until there's like a real one or whatever, and it's just like it's not great for anybody. I mean, it's great for just like the average player for sure, but in terms of visuals, it's not great, I guess. Which at the end of the day, people get to play the game, so that's what matters above all else.
Well, and even still, you could make the argument that a digital client would even help you sell cards. It's like, why would I want to invest in, for example, this promo Shadramon that we see on the board, when I know that this card is really, really expensive? If I buy it, I'm going to want 4 of it. And then what if I get it and then I realize I don't like this deck? Then I'm stuck with 4 of this really expensive card, you know? Like, an online client could help you sell more product. I just think Bandai's marketing team needs to sell it to their execs that way.
That's fair. I can agree with that.
It's all about marketing. We see a full stack.
Yeah, I think this is a... It looks like this is like Pyildra. We were able to DNA into a Pyildra on Empoleon's side. Tessero boards cleared. Just a digi bubble in the back.
Well, he just started, so we'll see what he does from here. But just having your board cleared and looking down level 5 on the opponent's end is a little scary. I mean, he does have the game 1 advantage, so he can afford to be a little bit reckless here. But knowing how this man plays, I don't think he's going to go for a reckless play. I think he's just going to set up in the back and try to establish something for the following turn if he can. Yeah,
I think he's probably just like thinking of the board state, and there's a good chance we're not dead next turn, so we can play for we can just do a value game plan or value turn. Try to play around the idea that like we may not be able to play a Digimon by effect on the coming turn due to a fighter mode on the opposite side. So is there anything we can do to play around that? It looks like we're gonna hard play the Shadramon. And that's just gonna pass the turn because it doesn't have an on play. Okay. There's so much to unwind to that statement. Which statement, Panda? The legal gray area statement? It's great for me to fight the robots.
Yeah, punch the robots.
Oh, in the Pokemon, on the Pokemon simulator, that's fair. Oh, and the was it DCGO has a bot you can play against too, right? I think it does.
Yeah, I think the bot is just not very good, like, decision-making AI for given game states, but, like, it's really hard to program an AI, and obviously they don't have any access to any of the tools that Bandai does, so... I mean, they're making do with what they got.
I think... well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you define tools, right? Just like, by tools, you just mean financial power to pay programmers?
Yeah, like,
right.
I mean, we're talking about a major company versus a team of, like, 7 buddies.
Yeah. And then the Pyldra, I'm taking a guess that this is a fighter mode now, officially. So we do 2 more checks, and Tessero's on the back foot, right? I don't think Tessero can really do anything here. The statement was in regards to spending money on expensive cards. Oh, Panda, it's okay. We all understand that your child has their college fund all ready to go in the form of cardboard instead of, a financial safe thing, a bank, I guess. I don't know. What are they called? It's not scholarships. What is it? It's like...
like a savings account?
We'll say, I guess we'll say savings account. I was trying to get a little bit fancier, but...
Like a trust?
A trust? I guess we could say trust. Whatever, you get my point.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Investment, yeah. Oh, you guys know what I'm talking about at this point. Like he's got his investment in the in cardboard for the college fund instead. Oh no, we've had that discussion before. Not to point shade.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
that's... Yeah. Cardboard is expensive. Let's be honest with ourselves. Gotta value the important things in life sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I think Panda, we're poking fun, but I think Panda, you have I don't know if you've like compared collections with anyone yet, but I think it's fair to say that potentially you have if not the most complete collection. You are at least, I can't imagine there's too many. We could probably count on a single hand of people that could potentially have a more complete collection than you.
Yeah, this is probably true. There is one player at my locals that has like a master set of every card except for ghosts, which he has one of most of them. And it's like, man, that's super cool. So it's like, if you ever want to see just a card in person, like, he probably has it, and it's kind of neat.
Oh, wait, like, so you're saying he's got a master? This person has a master set of like every alt art, everything, just missing ghosts?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. He doesn't keep 4 of the ghosts, but he'll keep 1 of every ghost.
Oh, okay. And when you say ghost, are you specifically talking about the Alpha and the Omnimon from way back when, or are we talking about every single SP? What do you mean by
every
ghost?
Single SP.
Got it.
Yeah. Like that. That's a little.
That's a lot, man.
Blood. Yeah.
Are you talking about a homie named Bash, perchance?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Real good friend of mine named Kiefer.
Kiefer. Got it.
Yeah.
Panda was asking why I bring that up. Looks like some shenanigans are happening on Empoleon's side. Looks like we callinged our own trash?
No, he's using calling to sack the fighter.
And I think it's just game there. It was a little hard. It's a little weird to follow, but I think Tessera is scooping it up here because they definitely have lost Empoleon's taking that game.
So if you're calling the fighter there, then any of the pieces in that fighter stack are able to be used, so you can just lock them under another one.
Right. Okay. The only deck that I own that will ever be super pretty is Sakuya. Ryan, rest in peace. The waifu tax on that is pretty tough.
It's a lot.
But so like that brings up the next discussion. I think like where are you in terms of like collecting alt arts and collecting max rarity? Like for me, there are people out there that every deck they play has to be max rarity, and I think that is the most financially dumb way to go about playing any card game. But like,
I agree.
For example, I love Lobomon. I love Melga, right? So I'm always going to try to max rarity those decks. And anything else I play on the side, it could be the cheapest version. I could not be bothered. But Lobomon, you best believe I'm getting every maxing that card, that archetype out every time.
And see, I'm a little bit of the opposite. I like to get one alt art of every card that I like in a specific archetype. And like, it's not even to the point where it's like Magna X is my favorite deck. I don't have alt art Magna X's. If it's something that I can't justify the investment, then I don't do it.
That's fair. And that's probably the most healthiest way to go about it.
Well, and I'm a deck builder first and foremost. So I want to have access to a lot of these tools and cards. And if I allocate all of my resources into acquiring the alt arts, then that's less resources that I have to put towards getting like
the janky stuff or the fun stuff. Yeah. I respect that. I like that. Yeah, I am not a deck builder. I pretty much only stick to like the things that I like. So that frees me up. I wouldn't say free me up, but that lets me just, make my stuff look pretty. Whereas you can just spread yours out and do everything. I like that. That's a cool dynamic between us.
Yeah, and there's a couple different ways you can look at playing any card game, and honestly, as long as you aren't making yourself skip bills or skip meals, your way that you're doing it is probably healthy.
Yeah, exactly. What is the chat up to? I max rarity my cheap decks. Eos, Argo are currently my only max rarity decks. Oh, I would argue those are pretty cheap decks. Leo
Argo
is
a good one. I think Argo would be a good one to max rarity, because at any point, if we get a format that is too dependent on tamers, you run the risk of just, like, having a lot of money, and that could be fun.
No, I agree. No, Argo, there's a few archetypes out there that I'm just like, they get that one wave of support, and suddenly we are crying.
Yeah. It's like, remember when the rock stuff was revealed and like the base rarity the super rare Gogmamon from BT5 hit like $20 for a week.
Well, like, have you played that deck, dude? Like, that card is the best card in the deck. Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
It's so
like,
crazy.
That card was like $1 when it was released.
Yeah, no, it is funny. Like, I'm sitting on stacks of that card because again, I started the game in BT4. So like that back then, that card was like useless. No one wanted that card. Like, so I just have a bunch of them. And now it's to the point where like my friends are like, oh, I need that card. I need to get a Gogmamon. It's like, oh, I have a ton of them. Sure. Like, and I'm not really like, I'm not really trying to like snip at trying to like, oh, these are all $20. I mean, that card is the best card of that deck. Anyone playing, if you guys have played Rocks yet or Minerals, whatever you want to call it, Gogmamon, best card in the deck. You can promote that guy and just loop Tumblemon over and over again and gain like not 10 memory, but you get where I'm going with this. Like, you just get so much memory. Oh, it's so stupid. It's so busted. I love that card.
Not only that, but you're also like getting rid of your opponent's board in the process.
Yeah.
Like, you just de-digivolve and just blow stuff up.
You don't have to attack. You just exist, and you're like, all right, de-digivolve that guy, gain a memory off of Tumblemon, delete that guy, delete that. Oh, it's so stupid. It's so good.
It's cool to watch. Tezero's playing the battle NPC. I gotta say, I was really underwhelmed reading this card, but I'm probably missing something. This card is probably way better than I was giving it credit for. Do you have an opinion on this one?
I think there's some interesting gimmicks to this card. I like the way I like to think about this card right now is it's essentially card draw that let's think of like a memory booster or training. What you're doing is you're banking that memory for a later play, right?
That makes sense.
So if with that kind of mindset, this battle NPC lets you bank a Digimon to play later, right? You're investing instead of hard playing this Wormmon now, you're playing the battle NPC, so you can play this Wormmon for free later. Right? Like, am I misremembering how this battle NPC works? It lets you play the Digimon, right?
You're spot on. It's just, it's one of those cards that there is some nuance, and we're probably going to see a lot of really broken strategies that aren't intended in archetype for this card. I truly do not believe that it will be Imperial Dramon that breaks this card. I think it'll be like some security control variant or something stupid.
I can agree with that. It does seem a little underwhelming maybe in the current fieldscape of things, but it's not. I would not sleep on this card. Like, this is definitely a card I'd grab the playset while it's cheap. It's an uncommon, shouldn't be hard to get. Just like keep your playset around.
Yeah, just have it in your binder for a rainy day.
Yeah. And so Tessero's got a proxy here. I imagine this is probably a rookie of some kind. Not sure. I imagine it has to be like we can't really deviate in this deck, right? It's got to be Vmon or Wormmon, right?
It could be a Floodgate because you can
maybe
still play purple Floodgates.
But Tessero not having a purple Floodgate feels unlikely. Yeah. Or we were just lazy and we didn't want to shuffle cards around.
Honestly, writing out that long effect seems like more work.
True.
I'd rather just get the card.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's looking down a big old dragon mode. Like, this match has been really interesting to see back and forth because every turn the board just goes away and then gets reestablished.
Oh yeah, no. This is what Red Purple Imperial is. It is, right? It's just it is going to loop the same card. It's going to be able to reestablish its board constantly. And that's why I think earlier in the chat people were talking, or I forget who it was it Spider Carnage who brought up the idea of putting the red, the green, blue Davis Ken in the deck because it would only help you essentially rebuild the board again and again and again. And that's kind of what the idea with this battle NPC is too, right? He's sending us to 3. We drew a card off of it for free, and now we're going to have a free body later when we need it to essentially rebuild the board.
Yeah. I do like the idea of the Davis Ken maybe a little bit more than the battle NPC because, like, for example, with this Vmon here, the ability to play that, get your discard 1, draw 2, and then if they don't deal with it, it goes back to your hand and you get to do that again, means that you're cycling through a lot of pieces.
Sorry, yawning. No, I agree. I agree. It just gets a little weird because a lot of because you have to think in, like, I guess from, like, it's probably not worth thinking about, but like there is some power in the fact that some of the power budget of Davis Ken is the fact that you can tap it and strip 3 sources, right?
Correct.
And just giving that up entirely seems sus. But I could just be like completely off base, right? Like I mean, that being said, people in Japan are running it, right? We've seen lists run that Davis Ken, and it is specifically like you're saying, being able to just, all right, if you don't deal with this random rookie, it's coming back to my hand, and we're just doing it again.
Well, and if you're really concerned about the sources, you could play like the red-blue Vmon and the green-purple Wormmon, which I believe both of these players are. I haven't seen the red-blue Vmon yet.
You only get it if you DNA a green-blue Digimon, right? The source stripping?
Yes, but what you can do is you can play something like Chimera and then tuck the blue or green rookie under.
Junk.
And all of a sudden, you're all of the colors under the sun, and you can tap the Davis Ken, get your memory, strip your sources.
Snap! I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And so I've seen a couple people tack a card like that, and I think it's just whether or not you want to justify making an inclusion like that. because this deck is so archetypal that starting to tech other things like that could hurt your consistency. But at the same time, it gives you different outs against things that you didn't have outs to before. So it's kind of a deck builder's paradise.
That's fair. That's why, man. That's why I miss BT14 Lugamon. Like that was the deck that I constantly experimented with my level 4/5 lineup, dude. Like I was doing everything. I was trying every purple card.
How much it can do.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel now about the Takamikazuchi stuff that's going on with that build of the deck? Do you like that, or would you much prefer the old one?
Nah. Like Takamika or Fenrir was a deck that I was like, all right, I'm max raritying this. This is fun for me. I love this deck. I love everything about it. I love the dog. And then I was so excited for like dog with sword in its mouth. And the deck's just not where it's like, I don't know. I don't have fun winning with that deck. And if I'm not having fun winning with the deck, then like, what am I doing? Like losing isn't fun. So like,
that's fair. Yeah. When Barack Obama invented vibes in 2002, that's not what he had in mind.
True. Oh, it's funny.
I also don't vibe with the Takamikazuchi deck. Like, I feel like it's one of those... Like, at Nats, there were so many times that I'm like, man, I have this in the game, and then they milled the exact card they needed. Like, I Paladin mode them, and then they get 3 mills, and one of their mills is Takamikazuchi, the other one is Kazuchimon, and then the other one is the level 5 that they need. And I'm like, oh, cool, well, I lose. And it's as simple as that.
What did you play at Nats? You went to Nats?
I played a deck that I called Boneless Magnamon.
Oh, interesting.
It was a DNA armor variant that played all of the level 4 Magnamon pieces, but it had the Stingmon from BT12 and the Dino Beamon from BT12. So you could make a Magnamon X that even if they blocked it, you would still hit 2 security and then get all of your effects. It was really fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I didn't do great. Like, I broke even just outside of top 128, but I had a good time. Met a lot of fun people.
No, Nats was definitely a fun experience. I just it's unfortunate I didn't get to see you. I like, you cannot imagine how hard it is to like, just to like, because like there's this dream. I had the dream of like, all right, I'm gonna try to get all the content creators, and we're gonna do like a content creator like big picture or something, and then fans can come and like also get like, you know, something. And it's just like, bro, everybody's got their own life, man, you know. Like, it is just so impossible to do that.
Yeah. And it's I tried to meet as many people as I could. I didn't even see you in the event hall. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like I never saw you, but I was there all day, all 3 days.
I believe you. It was a big event hall. I just didn't see you, man.
Yeah.
I would have said hi.
No, that would have been great. I wanted nothing but everybody to say hi to me. BT14 Fenrir is the correct Fenrir. I agree. Much is dead. TCG Stratovarius 996 says, "Oh, it's recognizes you, TCG Timmer." Yeah, we got the boy. We got him on stream today. Very exciting to get to meet him myself.
Yeah. Happy to be here. Thanks again for having me, man.
Any time, dude. I'm trying to get everybody and anybody, honestly. Because this is infinitely more fun to do with people than without.
Oh, no, exactly. And so many different content creators in the space have so many different takes on what they think is good or what they think even has potential in this game. And it's really cool to get a bunch of different people's ideas and opinions.
Even just like people like in terms of like the future of the game, how they feel like the game is going, the past of the game. Like everyone thinks about every format slightly different. It's just fun. It's fun to get that out there for everybody in a format like this.
Especially a format that's cracked as wide open as it is. Like, yeah, everybody's was kind of talking about how terrifying Tau Loop was going into this, and then we kind of didn't really see a whole lot of that in Japan. Like, it was there.
It petered out, right? Yeah. It made a huge splash, and then
at the beginning.
And now it's kind of petered out. I think we're seeing Now with BT20 in their hands, we're seeing red, purple, Imperial. Like, what was the? I haven't seen Isa's video in like probably 2 weeks or something. God forgive me. Chat forgive me. But like, what has he been saying like in terms of what the Japanese scene is really reporting on? I guess I could pull up the video myself and just take a quick look at his tier list. His tier list, not tier list, I guess.
Yeah, that's.
East.
I believe the last one I watched, it was still kind of wide open. Like, we're seeing some of the repeat offenders still making waves, but...
Gallon and Fenrir, that's what I saw that do something. Or they were still around. Oh, members only content, rest in peace.
I think Fenrir is, or the Takamikazuchi variant is probably my least favorite deck in this game.
What about it in particular? Does he rubs you the wrong way? Because mine is D-Reaper. And I hate D-Reaper.
Oh man, that sucks.
No, the fact that they don't have levels, dude, is just so unbelievably irritating. But let's talk about you and let's talk about Fenrir.
It's just not. I don't feel like every deck should be able to win from any position, and Fenrir is one of those decks that can just do that.
That's fair. I can feel that. I think like that's kind of my gripe with something like Seven Demon Lords doesn't win from every position, but it eventually wins, and like it wins by turn 5, but it like, how do I word this? Seven Demon Lords is a deck that will win at turn 4, but you have to play the game till turn 7.
Yeah, it's an inevitability deck.
Mm-hmm. But it's like the game is over by turn 4. You just don't know it yet, or like if you know how to read the game, you might know it, but like you still have to like play it out, and it's very frustrating.
Well, the first instance that we had of a deck like that I can recall in this space was Examon, like the first iteration of Examon.
Oh yeah.
Before they built Examon, if you didn't, then they fundamentally changed the win condition of the game. They said, "Here's my boss monster, and you have to deal with it right now."
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. But it looks like we're watching Tezero take this.
Yeah, Tezero's taking it. Let's go to the commentator screen real quick, and then yeah, Tezero took it. Established a double red purple Imperial on board, which disgusting. Actually using the ace in there.
He never used that battle NPC.
No, he never did. It's just I would have been interesting to see if it was more relevant. But taking a look at East's video, or his video from 7 days ago, his latest one, members only. If you want to support him and his endeavors and pay for it, if you want to see the top 10 wins, I'm not gonna report on something that I like non-members have access to. That wouldn't be fair to him and his business. Agreed. I guess we'll call it. So we'll talk about the one from 7 days ago. Royal Knights doing really well. Red Purple Imperial doing really well. Gallant still doing really well. Purple Hybrid, Takamika, Magna X coming back, which is exciting, I guess, for some people, and Omnimon and Red Hybrid. So those are the top, like, yeah, there's a lot of decks here, all getting a lot of local wins, which is kind of cool.
As a Magna X believer, Magna X being there still shocks me a little bit, just because there are so many tools in BT20 and BT21 that a lot of decks have that directly deal with Magna X. Like my that Cross Ranger deck that I posted most recently, in that deck, the Jaeger Darulumon just says your opponent's Digimon can't activate when digivolving effects. It's like a mini Venus, and that just stops Magna X in its tracks. And it seems like there are more decks that are getting things like that. So I'm kind of interested to see what the community's opinion is of that card moving forward, right? Because in the past, people have been like, oh, Magna X needs to burn at the stake. And I don't know. I feel like we're going to enter a format where that opinion might change.
I mean, even now, Magna X has been kind of sedated, I guess. Like it's around, but it's kind of like Imperial. Even like, I would say it's a step up above Imperial in terms of relevance, but it's been pretty sedated, right? It's been taken out of the meta. Like at least the forefront of the meta it's been taken out of, and it just kind of exists. I think the biggest problem is it's just like, it's not, if your deck can't handle a giant uninteractable body, then you just lose, and that's not a fun feeling, and kind of makes the game feel closed. It's kind of like why I don't like D-Reaper. D-Reaper has nothing to do with the meta right now, but I will always say that it's like one of my least favorite decks, because it's like, all right, it's a deck that has no levels, so purple and blue just don't get to interact with it. Like it's just you can't play the game. They establish a single gatekeeper, and you no longer are allowed to play the game, and that's just like not fun.
Honestly, we might see D-Reaper come back with this new set. That new Cherry card is actually really good.
No, D-Reaper's got some spicy cards here and there that, like, I guess like they didn't take advantage of it in too much in Japan, but like we've had success with D-Reaper a lot more so than at any point of D-Reaper's life than Japan did. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see a top here and there from D-Reaper and all its new support between promos and the new wave as well. Let's catch up on chat. I don't think there's anybody really playing anymore. We're at time, so let me catch up on chat. Let's see. Double Wimmy was helping me on terms of what was being represented in top decks. 2 decks were Red, Purple, Imperial, and Royal Knights. It's very clear those 2 decks are top dog. Not as wide though. So the format isn't. He's saying the format isn't wide, but it's got a lot of like a handful of decks that are good, which is healthy, I guess. Barbara stops 7 Great Demon Lords. Interesting. Got bullied out of and no, he's getting revenge. At Reese the Squirrel, if you haven't, not now, but later, should read his post about Digimon being same format with Japan. He made a post about being the same format. Would like to hear your take on his post. Can someone just like, where is that post? Because I would love to have me and TCG Tamer kind of give our takes on that post.
Yeah,
I guess it was a community post. I'll take a check. Share the non-cross deck TCG Tamer.
It's on my channel.
Check out his channel, Wolfhorn. Speaking of which, we love selling out. TCG Tamer, that's his tag right there. You guys know very well that this is the Eagle's Nest tournament every Thursday, every Monday, 7:30 on Mondays, 8 p.m. on Thursdays. We do proxy tournaments. We do fun, casual side stuff. I'll give you guys cat cam for a little bit. We do side format stuff. Last week we had a purely Liberator format on the Thursday, which was really fun to watch. Got to see a lot of Sephagamon do well. On top of that, what can we talk about?
That sounds fun.
It was pretty cool to watch and do. That being said, I don't know if I have time to go through every sellout page, but we sure as well will try. Here's the weekly schedule of webcam tournaments for you guys. Do Destin, DMV Drakes, DigiGalaxy. Not bad. I need to refresh myself on who DigiGalaxy is. We will do that, I promise, eventually, but that's just that day is not today unless chat tells me. Eggman, double win a box, March 4th. That's Tuesday. That's coming up in a couple weeks. I'll be hosting it on this channel, live stream, everything. Join, have fun, check it out. Great prizing. I love that Eggman is hosting events again for Digimon. I know people kind of miss Eggman being in the scene, and me and Panda do a lot to try to pass his torch on, and live the fire, essentially. The next is PPG Case Tournament, Webcam Case Tournament EX8, coming up this Sunday, the day after the Ultimate Cup, February 3rd. Check it out. Again, I'll be streaming it, so I'll be here. Yeah, check it out. PPG, great tournament organizer. They're just they're on the come up, man. Like I would almost put that their name is getting closer and closer to things like Cool Stuff Games and Star City Games and all the big channel Fireball. Their name is getting bigger and bigger and closer to those big stay names. So definitely a company you want to be supporting and just having to take along the ride, man. They're big into Lorcana as well, if you guys are on that. Speaking of Ultimate Cups, here we go. This Saturday, Carta Magica, the final NA Ultimate Cup, the final time you guys will get a chance to get the Shine Greymon support. Check it out. Check out the stream Saturday, 11 a.m. EST, February 22nd. Please check out the stream. I won't be there, but that's no excuse for you guys to not enjoy whoever's hosting. Support these tournaments. Either join the tournament. There's still signups are still available for everybody if you want to get your chances at playing in this tournament. Or show up in numbers and watch the stream. And I say that, of course, in a if you can way. Don't get fired trying to watch a stream, all right?
That's absolutely fair.
That being said, we'll go back to the cat cam. While Double Whammy actually sent me the... I think the round started. Oh.
Did it?
I think it might have.
It doesn't look like it. We have a lot of tables that aren't playing.
No, I definitely think the round started. So, yikes. Okay. That's on me, everybody. I'm sorry. We'll go back to Tessero for one really good reason. He's playing against Blue Hybrid. So, a little bit more of Red Purple Imperial. We'll try to get something different next round. But I just love me some Blue Hybrid, man. I'm not gonna lie. So, I want to see how Marshmallow Ruff or Blake Banter is going to be able to play around this, and then we will get into.
He's playing blue base, like blue eggs.
Oh, that's the only way to play it for me, man. Put some Gomamons in there, some win attacking, gain one memory Strabimons, and just go for a ride, man.
I feel you. I'm really impartial to the Red Floodgates and the Muchomon.
Oh, was it I lovingly call him Murakamon, and Murakamon is probably the best red rookie to ever come out in this game, man. That guy, he is nuts.
He just makes so many openings so fast.
Oh god, he makes the deck so consistent. Oh my god, sometimes you just gotta hit him with the maracas, you know? That's how I see it, man.
I completely agree. We see Tessero going into an early Dino Bee. Does he have something that he wants to summon back? Looks like it's looking at that Shadramon. Can we full combo?
It looks like it. If we can attack and we just have the cards in hand, we just full combo right here and now. I feel bad for the bees. They got trampled. Gotta do the lurker stuff for a bit. All good, Ryan. Hi, my sisters are not working. Haha. Martin, Canes? What do you mean your sisters are not working? What is that? What is that?
He sounds like a Jessamon player.
Oh, I see. Oh, was it? Oh, were you the puppet deck from round 1? I'm sorry, buddy. That first round was rough.
Your deck looks cool.
Yeah, that deck did look fun and interesting. Blue hybrids. I feel you, but it's my favorite deck, and I run the show sometimes, man. That being said, looks like we will attack, and we won't go into dragon mode. So, we did 2 checks here due to inheritables, I believe.
Does it? What would the ideal play to end your turn be for Dan or for Tessero? Like, what would, if you go into the Dino Bee but don't resolve the Dragon mode, what do you prefer to end your turn on? Is it just another boost?
Yeah, some way to kind of guarantee memory, and here we're gonna do the battle NPC, so that kind of does guarantee that we can go to 3 next turn, which is kind of huge because Blue Hybrid is a deck that can take you out in terms of it can choke you to 1 pretty consistently if you let them. Ukomon will search out the Ancient Garuru, Promo, Lobo, and Ostrabi to the bottom. That's a little unfortunate, but we're going to be able to draw a card. Hatch. Make sure we hatch. Nice. I'm still working on Blue Hybrid. That is Tommy, but that level 6 Hexa, $40. Yeah, definitely. I don't recommend Market Watch type content too often just because, like, I'm not comfortable with telling people what to do with their money. However, Hexblow, from the jump, I was like, oof, I'm buying that. And I'm making sure I have my my staple playset, and by that I mean like when a card is a staple playset, I mean it's a generically good card. So at most you're probably running it at 3 at most, like, and that's pushing it for a card like that. We are going to go into Ancient Garurumon here. That's gonna bounce the Dino Bee. We don't have any type of protection on Dino Bee other than the partition, of course.
Yep. Which is still really good for Tezero here.
We're gonna draw a card. Yeah, no, having the 2 level 4s is huge. Almost should have just attacked into the Dino Bee, but that does risk a fighter or Dragon Mode Ace play.
Yeah.
And that could be devastating. I did get sent the I did get sent the post from East about talking about the Digimon TCG unification. Holy God, this is a big read. Oh my! We can
do it on a break or something if you prefer. Up to you.
Oh God, this is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a whole like. This is a whole newspaper article, man.
That's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
If you're gonna write that much, you must have an opinion.
Yeah.
All right, so blue hybrid player ending his turn with activating the ancient guardian deity, playing the memory setter Koji. Now we're resolving all these effects. Man, I like blue hybrid sequencing.
Oh man, if only the top end was Magna Garurumon, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
But here, leaving the... This is kind of tough. We're at 3 security, and you left 2 bodies on the board. I feel like we needed to find a way to end the previous turn with, like, hard playing an Ancient Garuru or something.
As a blue hybrid enjoyer, how much do you think the new fighter mode hurts the deck?
It depends on when, right? Like, here, the fighter mode would do nothing. Right? Because this next turn, if Blue Hybrid gets another turn, we're winning the game. We don't care if we can't play more Tamers, right? We're not playing Digimon by effect too often, other than by the Ancient Deity. So that half never really comes up.
That's fair.
And then the Tamer, of course, the main loop of the deck is, oh, I go into Ancient, and then my Ancient brings back the Tamer. So if you're able to stop that early enough, it can be a problematic, but here it would do nothing, right? We have double Tamer set up. We're going for game next turn.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's one of those cards that is just like, you read it and you're like, man, this is terrifying.
Oh, no. No, man. More Floodgates is bad. I do not want them to keep printing Floodgates, man.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Got a little excessive. I was there when Vanity's Emptiness went from being a 5-cent common to being $30 in a mandatory 3 of.
Yeah.
It was like, what happened? This was overnight.
Where can we see this article? You know what? I'm going to link it in chat since this was linked to me. Give me a second. I should read it, and I would love to make an informed. If you want to give me like if someone wants to give me a TLDR, so like, because we're obviously running a stream here and I can't just sit down and read something because I can't do 2 things at once. As you guys famously know, when I talk, I don't use my eyes. So it's rough out here, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. Multitasking is a privileged event.
Yeah, exactly.
I am
not one I'm privy to.
Terrible about it.
Ooh, a Davis reprint. That's random, but fair enough. I'm not going to disagree with a Davis reprint. Nice full blue border art too. I don't know if this is going to be cooler than the starter deck reprint we got a few oh my god, a year or 2 or now ago, with it being fully textured and stuff.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Oof. Oh, that was the Jesmon Ragnalord starter decks. Those were. It's been a minute on those. Wow. Yeah.
I think that Ragnalord is still good.
What's the score on this match so far? I don't know. It should be just... This should be still game 1, actually.
Yeah, it's 0-0. We're about to wrap up game 1. Both players are at 1 security, and both players are pushing their final lethal turns.
Yeah.
Because we see double Koji set up for blue hybrid, and Tezero is currently in the process of doing red-purple Imperial shenanigans.
Yeah, we're going to go into Dino B. We're going to play... I imagine we're going to play Pyildra if we can. Looks like no, though. We don't have it set up. Pyildra would be insane here, but no. Instead, we're going to play the XV. XV will delete the Ukomon because it does have an on play, I believe, to delete something. And then the Dino B will attack because we chose to give it... Maybe I'm wrong about this XV? Let's see.
Yeah, it's...
No, yeah, we are getting rid of it. And then we attack security. 12k. The Dino B is bigger or no?
We have no way to get jamming on the stack, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think we have...
But we get to play a worm.
Oh, does that mean we just win?
I think that means blue hybrid might just win. There's nothing that this guy or that Tezero can evolve into that's gonna like put him back in the game, right? Like unless he goes into a Shadra and then has a full combo, but even the full combo is just gonna pass a lot of memory without.
But can't we just DNA right here? We play Flame, but like how does this? We're still. I don't think we've hit end of turn, right? So yeah, we are going to DNA, and then Dino B gets to attack again.
Oh.
I believe, yeah.
No, you're right.
So then Dino B... Oh, are we doing end of turn now into Dragon Mode, and that will attack for game? Yeah, no, that's exactly what's going to happen. And we're just going to scoop it up. Yeah, we definitely needed to end that turn by getting rid of one of those bodies. Yeah, because... We essentially just daisy chained a bunch of like on play effects. Like we never hit end of turn there, so we never hit that weird rule where you can only resolve one attack at the end of turn. Because it was just we were just an infinite sequence of attacking security. That was disgusting. I see why this deck is so represented in Japan right now.
Well, it feels like what Takumi Kazuchi was trying to do. Or, I mean, was doing, let's be real. Just different, you know? Like, it's the same goal where you're just... Yeah, it doesn't really matter what the memory threshold is on the opponent's side because you're still going to combo anyway. This deck just can pop off seemingly out of nowhere if the trash is established, but... I do kind of like that.
Catching up on the chat, they were talking about partition. No, it was an on deletion effect to play the Wormmon. I think that's correct. DNA and attack, exactly. Wolfhorn, that's what's you guys pretty good. And people say I'm wrong for running Crimson Blaze in my decks now. Yeah, I mean red base Ancient Guru might come back just so we don't have to deal with. We can floodgate their floodgates, boy.
Crimson Blaze is never going to be a bad card.
Absolutely
There will always be some deck that gets advantage by playing things off of effect. Like, even now that we have scrambles, like, you can turn off scrambles with the Crimson Blaze, and that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Nah, you run that card, brother. For Red Purple Imperial, he got to go into a whole level 6 at the end of his turn and still get it. Nah, fam. No, that's fair. No, that was a lot. They were able to do a whole hell of a lot before hitting the end of turn.
That's my problem with Takumi Kazuchi, is you get to slingshot the memory back multiple times. It's like, the way that Purple is playing the game now is a lot. It's a lot to keep up with if you aren't playing the deck yourself.
Absolutely. There's a lot of little effects, and it's not the easiest thing to keep track of.
Yeah, there's a purple player at my locals, and there are times that players sit across from him, and they're like, "Listen, man, I trust you. Just do your thing.
Blue
like you
and
don't
purple
have to
cheats.
explain it.
I think blue and purple do cheat, but like I feel like green is like the next cheater. Like,
well, but let's be real. Green deserves it. Green has been like the worst color for a while.
well, that's coming from when it was the best color, right? I guess I'm still like,
Yes.
like I don't know. I still like feel like we're still like something about how Bandai designs future sets and stuff. Like they still haven't brought us back to like you guys got to remember back in like 1.5 BT3 or 1.5 BT4 BT5, like yellow was dominant. Yellow was bar none the best color, right?
We also had for like a couple weeks we had the Saris loop deck.
Right, green was gross. Nidhogg was gross. Like,
and then even with the yellow-green Rookie Rush variants with like the Needle Spray and the Spiral Masquerade.
Oh my god, don't remind
that was
me,
a lot
man.
of fun.
I get sad every time I think about how people won Omnimons with Rookie Rush, and I'm just like, man, they weren't even playing this game. They were just, ugh.
It was fun. I really enjoyed Rookie Rush back in the day.
I thought it was so lame. Like, not only did they choke you to 1 every turn, there was just like, it was just play rookie, choke you to 1, play rookie, choke you to 1. And it got to the point where like they weren't even attacking you anymore because they didn't want to risk like hitting a memory tamer. So they would establish like, I don't know, 6 or 7 rookies and then attack.
And also, your rookies were a resource. You need bodies in play to resolve your Spiral Masquerade.
Oh, yeah.
So that was another reason they weren't attacking.
That's true. Along with Starmon as well. Yep. Flamemon we're going to Digicross, we're going to Digicross the Ancient Garuru here because we haven't set up Tamer at all. But we do it through the Ancient Guardian Deity, which allows us to pick up, I think we picked up Lobo there. And I think it's the same Lobo we chose to play with this Ancient Garuru. Still no rookie on the blue hybrid side. It's really unfortunate. But
yeah,
I don't know why the Ancient Deity is still there. Okay, cool. Black is the worst color. Yeah, black's never been. I mean, unless you count black or gray. Which, I don't know, depends. Like, once we got into dual colors, it's really hard to say whether or not, black was a top deck or something. Because it's just, like, it's very, like, for example, like, I don't, like, people complain that green has been bad for a long time. But, like, Imperial, right? Do we count Imperial as a green deck? But fundamentally, like, literally is, right? But, like, people don't, right?
It's the same argument with calling Nume a black deck. Like, and technically Imperial is a sort of a green deck, but it plays more like a blue deck, whereas Nume was technically like a black deck, right? But it played more like a yellow deck.
Yeah, so it was weird. So it's like, which way are we supposed to count it, man? And like at the end of the day, like that's why I think we're so far gone from colors, and we just care about like archetypes and like what you were saying at the top of the hour was, or at the bottom of the hour, whatever. When we started.
When we started, yeah. It's play styles, man. It's just what you vibe with.
All right, so our Ancient Garuru just attacked. I imagine it drew us a card from one of the inheritables, which is why we were able to do 2 checks essentially here. And then we're gonna choke by playing another Analog Youth. That's pretty good. Oh, another Tamer to the bottom. No, at least. All right, this isn't awful.
Well, so whenever the Garuru leaves, you can recycle those. So.
Yeah, and I don't think there's Digivolve in Red Purple, so like the only way to get rid of this Ancient Garuru will be to have it get deleted.
Right. So you can make the argument that actually milling those Tamers here is to the blue hybrid player's benefit.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But we see one memory Tezero have a worm and a V.
So we could, in theory, with Flamemon, Shademon. We're trying to see if we want to resolve the Wormmon here. Start of main phase. Did you evolve into a free type Digimon from your trash, I believe?
Yep. Which you would think that you'd want to, because it doesn't really seem like there'd be a way to go full line and keep turn without that effect.
I think we're just thinking like maybe we can go the full line, and like there's a world where we go the full line and establish we'll be able to establish the floodgate, so we don't get the tamer play, which is going to be the big thing stopping. It'd be the big counterplay to this whole shenanigans.
That's fair. And with the ability to have Shadra pull back a worm and then trigger that a different copy of that same wormmon, like this is a super efficient way to go about building a stack.
I mean, black got, so Wolfhorn, it seems like every other color gets new keywords except black and yellow. Yellow got barrier recently, right? I guess recently. It's been a minute now. But black just got fragment, right? So,
Well, and reboot's typically been like a black exclusive color. So
that's true. I don't think, yeah.
You even have keywords that are kind of like synonymous with certain color identities, like, and so I feel like black. It's been a while since it's gotten anything new aside from fragment, which is super specific.
That's
but
fair.
At the same time, black dabbles in so many other colors and so many other mechanics that it's one of the, like, you could say that black is one of the best colors in the game, just because if you're playing black level 5s, you have access to some of the best aces in the game. And not only that, but you have access to some of the best level 5s in the game, like the starter deck Rapidmon and the Edamon. So, I don't know. It's all a matter of perspective.
Looks like Tessero attacked into the Ancient Gray, or Ancient Garuru. So then we could Digivolve here. I guess this establishes our trash. I guess what this does is actually establish we established Pyildra and trash. So now we can do all of this. We've looped 2 Wormmons. We're going to DNA into Dino B. Dino B is going to allow us to play Pyildra.
This was a super cool way to go about doing this.
Yeah, that was kind of sick. Unless there's something that I don't know could have happened instead. That will delete.
Was there retaliation on that body?
There must have been a retaliation on that body, yeah. We're going to pick up a Kendo, and we're going to pick up the blue Koji. Interesting.
Okay.
We're going to trigger both our analog youths, go to 5 memory this turn.
Jesus.
I'm surprised we didn't try to get the Takuya Koji.
Maybe he's thinking about hard playing it, and that's just not cost efficient. But at the same time, you're at what, 7 memory? So.
Oh, we're going into fighter mode, and if there's any tamers in the security, they don't trigger. Oh, okay, but we're scot-free. Oh, but that just going into fighter mode here kind of gives up ace play, unless like Tessero has teched in a Beelzemon ace or unless Tessero's teched in a Beelzemon ace or was the red any of the red ones, like we're looking at
he's playing Crimson mode.
Mm-hmm.
Does Paladin mode ace have a black text box or black text box?
Not sure. Paladin wouldn't help here, though.
You're right.
But I'm going to look that up anyway, because that's a good question. Let's see. Paladin. I know Crimson does, and Paladin does have the black box text. So
okay, so you have access to a lot of different aces. You can even go like Bond of Bravery.
That's true. All right,
I think the Beelzemon, the level 7 Beelzemon ace is going to be really good.
Level 7 Beelzemon? I can agree with that.
There's just so many decks that have access to it. You can just tech it, and like you could even tech it in red hybrid. It's kind of neat.
And Tessero kind of gives it up there. Doesn't have an ace, and that was a really powerful play, but Blue Hybrid was able to get the early aggression enough to not have it matter. That early, definitely that early ancient grade or ancient Guru choked to one twice in a row, kind of slowed Tesoro down enough here.
Which is really impressive play from Blake's end, because we saw him not open a rookie for the longest time.
Oh yeah, I think that Uka was the first chance they got. Yeah.
No, incredible play from both of these players here today.
Looks like there's a little bit of ruling back and forth in the chat, talking about how they're playing stuff. I play this deck, bro, is doing it wrong. Don't you play another Shadra and just... I'm pretty sure all the play was right. I think if anyone's going to know how to play this deck, it's going to be Tesoro.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it looks like you guys are resolving it just fine. You can't. He's grabbing the same worm from source. You can't. Well, why not? If it's deleted on deletion, would be able to trigger Digimon from the source.
Yep. All the sources go to trash with the card. You could even pull back the... I believe if you had an effect like that, you could even pull back the same card.
How do I word this? Because I know what you're saying. You're saying if a card, let's say a level 4 in my level 6 stack, is giving me an on deletion effect, I can grab that level 4 out of the trash, basically.
Yeah.
And still resolve it, because it's the level 6 that has the on deletion effect that's resolving. As long as the level 6 card doesn't leave trash, you can do whatever you want with one of the sources.
Yes. The way stacks and effects are built in this game is super unique.
It is. That's the thing that keeps me playing Digimon. I just like... I think that's why I get so harsh and grossed out by decks like Megazoo or Seven Great Demon Lords or Rookie Rush, for example, or D-Reaper. The thing that makes this game fun for me, and I guess I'm like yucking other people's yum, but whatever. I just like making my boss monster and digivolving and having all these cool effects and like being able to combo off in that way. Like I would much rather a red purple Imperial than a 7 Demon Lord, I guess, in my eyes.
Agree. I can understand that. How do you feel about stuff like Leopardmon and Cherubi Ace, where you build one boss monster and then you just have a bunch of dudes sitting there with no sources?
I'm okay with that, because it still takes like your boss monster is what's creating that. So it's your boss monster that essentially is creating this deck and this play style. But like you still have to like digivolve up and become your boss monster. Whereas other decks are just like, I'm gonna play it. I'm just screw it.
Yeah. It's like every card is Medieval Gallant. We're just gonna hard slam this and get value.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I think there are a lot of decks that, especially like you keep mentioning D-Reaper. I think we're going to see a lot of decks like D-Reaper start to have more and more success. Just decks that need probably like 38 cards to be a deck, and then you just get to play 12 just good cards like Death X and Crimson Mode and Medieval Gallant and Digimon Emperor.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and that's a... What was it? What do they call it in My Hero Academia? It was like the infinite, like... Oh man, what was that? Was it like the Doomsday theory in My Hero? I don't know if you're an anime guy. I guess I'll learn about that now. But in My Hero Academia, they call it the like Doomsday in Singularity theorem or something. Like one day that powers are gonna get so strong that everyone's just dead anyway. It's kind of like that idea that you're kind of putting out there, right? It's just like one day we're just gonna have the card pool and the power creep to where like something gross is just gonna happen.
Well, we saw that the first time with security control. The second we got enough options in a bunch of different colors and enough ways to recover our security, we saw security control take the stage. Like
yeah,
it's
true.
The same thing.
No, 100%. I lost my mind.
We will get there. It's just a matter of when.
LTD, also, I know you're talking about the rules. Dynabe dies in check. Sadra at ESS says play Wormmon from hand suspended. Agree or disagree? LTD, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look it up, but I will say Tessero is streaming, so you can follow him.
He did play the worm suspended, and the worm effect allowed him to digivolve again from trash, and then he had an end of turn effect on that level 4 that allowed him to make that second stack.
Yeah, which I think the level 4 is what plays the other Wormmon, right?
Yes, it's the he had the Shadramon that pulled a worm back from trash.
Yes,
Like,
that I agree. Where he is playing Wormmon from? Okay. He has to play. He has to play. He has to play worm from hand, not the source. The main issue is where the worm is being played from.
He had 2 worms. One was in trash and one was in source. I don't know if he had one in hand. He very well could have.
I mean, you can timestamp it. You can. I think you can clip it. LTD, not to like make you do work or something dumb like that. But like you can clip it. Like it's hard. It is a lot to keep track of, and the fact that you're so adamant about it, like makes me inclined to think you're right. But also, I trust Tessero and his ability to sequence as well. So it's a little bit of he said, she said. Also,
yeah,
we're not paying attention to every single effect here right now because we're just yapping. But
yeah, I would be curious to know. Like,
no, you're right. You're right, LTD. If you go back and clip the exact moment you felt like he was wrong, like it might be worth just like thinking of like maybe he's actually playing it through a different effect or something. I don't. There's a lot of proxies going around. There's a lot of effects hitting the stage.
We also have these players muted, so we don't necessarily know exactly what they're saying to each other. We're just looking at them point at cards. Picking up the Dino Bee.
Go to his stream, call him out on it, straighten him up.
I don't ever recommend just going somewhere where they're conducting their work and just calling them out, but if that's how you get your kicks, I'm not going to stop you, but can't say I condone that.
I can't say I condone it either, but you know what? That's what the chat said. Oh, I'm dying. All right, we're good. We're back. It's a free country, yeah. All right, second Uko hits the stage. We're gonna gain a memory off of this Uko. Is this enough? Is this enough aggression that we just win the game? Potentially. No, it's not enough aggression that we just win the game. Uko will get deleted here, unfortunately.
Well, he's only at 2 security. If he can turn this Koji into a hybrid and then drop the dual tamer and keep turn, there is a world in which case he just has it here.
You would need the rush. You would need the rush guy for that, right?
I mean, sure, but
we're gonna check our
that's
security.
not outside the realm of possibility.
No, not at all. We're gonna check our security. I love this Lobomon, by the way. The fact that it searches security, grab out a Kendo, and then heal the top card. Oh,
Me
so
too.
good. Makes me wish. It makes me wish. Like, I get why all the inheritable hybrid tamers don't have on-play effects. But sometimes I wish there was just like, if they're gonna make Koji yellow, like why isn't there a Koji that's yellow that lets me search my security? You know what I mean? Just like let me go full value. There's that stupid Koichi that lets you draw one, trash one.
Right, and like I mean we have Zoe that lets us search security, but Zoe doesn't have enough support.
Yeah. All right, so we were able to gain 1 memory off of the Koji effect because a card did come to our hand. We're gonna attack with Kendo. Are we gonna resolve all the effect? Oh, we're gonna draw off of the Lobo inheritable. Didn't count cards in hand, so it's a little sus. But it's gonna check. I think this is jamming. It doesn't matter. We're bigger, but I think it was jamming because of the level 4 inheritable or the tamer. Blech.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna play deity. Play a tamer, I think.
I would think he would almost need to get rid of this worm.
I think so too.
Because if he doesn't get rid of this worm, he's looking at full combo. And if we Guardian Deity into Ancient, then that's what we're doing. All right.
Yeah, we are going to deity into an Ancient. That'll
Making
get
a
rid of the
power
worm.
play.
That'll clear the security. And now we're set up on having a tamer in response to everything and draw the final security to hand.
So let's see if Blake here has a good ace, like the burst mode ace or the bond of friendship, then
Oh,
Tezero's...
Micah, you're right. Oh my god, Micah, you're right. It was a draw from the kendo attack, not from the inheritable. My mistake. That's on me.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a lot of draw in blue hybrid. It's easy to get lost in the sauce.
This is a lot of memory, though. On like, we did bounce the worm, but like when you give your opponent this much memory, did it matter? You know what I mean?
I agree. We also have the missed memory boost set up, so Tezero has potentially 6 memory here to work with. Even more if he can trigger these analogs. But if he didn't, like if Blake didn't deal with the worm, then Tezero just full combos and sends it. Like here, at least you're forcing Tezero to have the pieces, you know? Keep him honest.
Double whammy. I know what you mean. I know you meant fine, by the way. I know, like, I know how you meant it. We were just kind of making fun. When attacking, okay, we're caught up on chat.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like. Okay, we have access to 6 memory, right? We're gonna go. Oh, we're gonna pop it right now, and 3 analog youths, which is gross too. Flame on.
That's what I'm worried about here. Is I feel like there's a big combo coming.
Yeah. Yeah, Micah. I don't think red purple can. I don't think red purple can do 5 checks and win the game here. They can clear board. Now my biggest question will be, can they do the damage, get rid of this ancient guru, and prevent and floodgate them out so they don't get the tamer off the ancient guru?
I mean, even still, you have to. There's like a Strabi in the back.
And those plays might end up just giving too much memory. We already saw that big combo at the end gate was giving like 5-6 memory.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that it just gets hard.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Tezero is on the back foot.
Here's the DNA. Dino B. Dino B will play a Digimon from the trash. Free trait. Looks like we're picking, Pyildra.
I really like the design of this Dino B. That's just a super unique effect.
Yeah, Dino B will attack. I think it has raid. I think we can attack into the ancient guru. Maybe it doesn't have raid, but looks like
clear the Uko.
Yeah, Uko's gone. Risu, are you coming to locals tomorrow? Man, you weren't even at locals last week. Why are you asking? I don't hear it. You can't get mad at me when you don't even show up. That's all I'm saying. Crazy. Alright, now Dino B is attacking security. Looks like we're just going for security checks.
Looks like.
Draw discard off of inheritable. That's the Minomon that's doing that. Finally the Wormmon is gone.
He has the Wormmon in sources, so he gets to suspend the ancient guru.
Yep.
I don't know how much that matters.
That's 3 checks left in security now.
Tezero's pushing for a lot of damage.
All
The
right.
DNA stat.
This is 2 check. Oh, fighter mode. Oh. Yeah, so because we have so much memory, we're going to be able to go into dragon. And so now we can't. This will be interesting. We're probably going to win attacking. Or, oh, wait, we have to delete this ancient first, right? That's how that works.
I believe you're correct.
Dragon.
In which case, then you can't really stop him from playing the tamer.
I guess it gets really funky on how resolution works.
If it's a you may, then that works out better, because then you can just elect not to blow it up.
Your opponent chooses one of their Digimon and deletes the rest. So the ancient guru stays, actually. Now we get to resolve Blitz if we want. Oh, I mean, never mind. Not resolve Blitz. What am I saying? Still his turn.
Yeah. Honestly, that might have been one of those situations where Blake could have let the Uko live and keep the Ancient Guru, because then you're forcing them to deal with the Uko through another means, but then making sure that you get the Tamer in play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all Blake needs is a Tamer in play to seal it up for himself. Well, specifically a Tamer named Koji.
Yeah. All right, did you vote for, I think, what was it, 2 on top?
For 2 into Fighter.
Yep.
So now we cannot play cards by effects on Blake's end, which is what Tezzera was banking on.
Yeah, which a little unfortunate considering it also counts security, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's wild to me. Card does a lot. You can still pull something back from trash.
We can still pull a Tamer back. We can still. We're gonna pass turn. Oh wait, grab stuff. Grab stuff. You have to. No.
I think it's mandatory. Looks like he forgot.
It's not mandatory because it's up to, I think, on the.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think. I don't think Tezzera would have been. Oh, I see what happened. Oh, we actually had game there because of. Oh, we had game there because of everything? Oh, that's crazy. So the fighter mode trashes the top security, right? So our opponent is at 2 security. The fighter mode would have done 2 checks on the swing, and then the Omni X just gets to attack when you digivolve it.
Yep.
So the analog youth. Yeah. So the analog youth taking the turn actually causes Tezzera to lose there. That's crazy. Oh, that's insane.
Huh. That was such an exciting end to that game, though. Like, especially knowing, like, seeing laid out what Tezzera had. That truly could have gone in either direction.
Yeah, no, that was close. Blue Hybrid did take it 2-0. Was that 2-0?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think that was 2-0 Blue.
Last game.
Yeah, I think that was 2-0 Blue Hybrid, but it was close. Like Tezzera had him at 0 security both times. 2-1. Did Tezzera win one? I guess he won the. I guess he did win one of them because he was popping off one turn. Oh man.
No, that sounds right. We've been watching.
We were here the whole round, yeah, and we're going into time in 45 seconds. Risu's the GOAT, 24/7 worldwide. Bah. Analogs, yeah, no, that analog saving Blue Hybrid is crazy. That actually blows my mind.
Do you think analog is one of the cards that deserves to get hit on the limited list?
Nah, not at all. I think analog youth is so. Oh, how do I word this? It's so. Send it to the commentator screen. It is so fine, man. Like, is it like what part of analog youth is problematic? I guess like the turn stealing part potential there.
So people have a problem with the fact that it sets up trash while setting up hand. And just provides a lot of speed for decks that otherwise would have to play more honest cards.
Speed? Like, that's my thing. Like, how are you getting speed out of analog youth? He just chokes you to 1 most times, right? Or I guess like if you're doing specifically like the Ancient Guru shenanigans where you're forcibly deleting yourself and being able to skip back turn real quick. But that's been around since. That's not an analog youth thing, right? That's been around for a minute. Like I remember BTE 4, we were doing that with the Gomamon. We were pulling off that play with a you would promote Gomamon with a Davis. You were at 3. You would just hammer spark to 4, go into do your full play, and then you would just find a way to pass turn, put a 1, and then get your guy back. I don't know. Cost efficient card that does a lot for its slot. I think it's fine myself. That's fair. It is cost efficient, but
it's also very generic. Like you can play analog deck or analog youth in a deck that was never meant to have a card like that and then justify it. Like for example, if you look at my like I have my Cross Ranger deck looks like a pile of cards on the surface. And then you realize that there are 4 Grape Memory Boost and 4 Analog Youth, and then suddenly this pile of cards has some consistency. And so I feel like it's one of those things that it all comes down to intention. Like if Bandai intended for us to make these super creative decks that had a lot of moving pieces that weren't intended to mesh together, then yeah, Analog Youth is perfectly within the scope of their design philosophy.
Yeah.
If you think the opposite, then you feel the opposite. I personally understand both sides of the camp. I've just seen that as a talking point for the last couple ban lists.
I think at that point, it's starting off. It falls under that category where like Ukomon exists, right? And you're just like, it's a cool generic searcher, and it like the hatching part probably gives it a little extra too much. But like there are to say that there's no downside to that kind of stuff. Like if you're not purple, for example, setting up the trash doesn't mean jack all. I think Ancient Guru a little bit. Like there are other colors now dabbling into like, you know, getting something from the trash real quick, which is I think is only healthy for the game, because I want to live in a world where this game looks like Dragon Ball Masters, and I've never played Dragon Ball Masters before, but I will say I've said it a few times on the stream. I went to the Bandai Card Fest Dallas at the middle of last year, and I watched every single final to support all my commentary homies. And I will tell you, bar none, the most fun final to watch was the Masters final. They were doing something every turn, and it was back and forth every turn, where it's like, you know, come on, this is Digimon. Sometimes you just get shut out. You don't find a rookie and it's game over, right? Just being able to see that, like that, I think that's everybody's dream in a card game, is like, I do a thing, and you do a thing, and I'm going to counter that thing, and then we're just playing a game, right? It's a 2-player game, where it's like, it's very easy for a game to become a 1-player game, and that's not ever fun. But like Masters is the only one of all the card games that feels like it's pulled it off really well. So
like that anime style battle.
Yeah. Let me catch up on
an anime card game.
Yeah. Let me catch up on chat. Let's see. Generic is fine in Digimon. I agree. Eagle. It just depends. Like it. I feel like there'll always be it's hard because it's like, if they make something generic, people complain that the card game is too generic, and if they do something archetypal, then everybody complains that, oh, decks just build themselves and there's no creativity in this game. And it's just like, where do you win? As someone who was part of game design at some point in my life, I feel for the people that actually have to sit there, take that feedback, and be like, well, what do we do? You know what I mean? Like, people are complaining on both halves, so it's just like, well, I guess we just give up.
It's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of have to make a decision at some point.
Dexter, it's still needed for the dual color decks that don't have a gem boost yet. That's fair, Dexter. We don't have... I'm of the opinion we need all 20 gem boosts, not all 10 gem boosts, but that's just me.
I agree.
Or is it 15? How many colors do we have? Black, blue, green?
6
We have
primary.
6 colors. So we have... Okay, so there should be 15 gem boosts, and then 30 in total if you actually flip the colors.
Yeah, there were so many times
some
when I
fun
was
math for you
building
guys.
the past couple weeks, and I'm like, man, just give me a red-green memory boost. Like, if I had that, then this...
Well, now it's like in blue and Ancient Hagaru, I'm like, man, maybe I could have a blue-yellow one. That'd be sick. Or if
That would be
like, right? Or like, what's the other one? Blue-purple. Like, there's all this Melga stuff that's like blue and purple now, and I'm like, I don't get a gem boost. What the F am I supposed to do? I think Analog Youth is fine. IMO, because you have Ukos that pretty much does the same thing, except Youth puts in trash. Fair. And legit, only a few colors take advantage of cards in trash. Right? Then that's kind of what we said. Becomes a 1-player game, and it's not fun. Yu-Gi-Oh! Catching Strays. I hate hating on other stuff because it's like not the energy I want to put out there, but I've had a whole yap about how Yu-Gi-Oh! To be fair, I did just pick up the Blue Eye starter deck that came out, and that looks fun. But I will say that there's a reason I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. That's the near part you don't you keep innovating. Little confused on what that sentence fully means. Wolfhorn, if you want to rephrase. I think Nume was peak of generic archetype engine. Yeah, Nume was probably I would say, I think that's fair. Nume was... Actually, no. Generic archetype engine, I don't necessarily agree with that. Nume was the victim of, like, set after set, getting a card, 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 and then suddenly you're like, oh, it's broken.
Yeah. It was one card at a time, too. And it's like the only time that we got, like, more than one card in a set was BT15 when we got, like, 4. We got the Waru Manze, the Manze X, the Platinum Nume, and... Actually, Platinum Nume was a set before, so it wasn't even that.
Oh, is the tournament over? Do we not have any more... I'll still go through chat, and we can still yap for a little bit, but I think the tournament might be over. But no, I agree. Like, it was just card... It would make me so mad. Because, like, we had so many Numemons, we had so many Monzemons, and so many Edamons, and I still only had one Koji, and it pissed me off.
That's fair.
Was it, I think, you wouldn't need to flip the colors. Dexter, when I say flip the colors, like, remember, let's talk about Amber Memory Boost. It's a yellow card that searches purple and yellow, right? Personally, I think it would be fair. Maybe this is stupid, but I want a purple one that searches purple yellow. Why? Because things like training exist. And so why does yellow get an advantage over purple just because they chose yellow as its main color, right? If amber counted as both colors, then I wouldn't care. But because it does only count as yellow as a card itself, I kind of think there's an argument that we need both. That's all. That's my point there.
If that's the case, then you could build, like, if we got, like, for example, with the Grape Memory Boost, it's a purple card that searches green-purple. If we got a green one that searched green-purple, then we could play effectively 8 of the same card and make decks ultra consistent.
That's true. Trainings, things like, oh, you mean training, grabbing them, got you. Yeah, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. Thank you, Dexter. Give us mem boosts for different fields. Oh, for fields? Oh, like archetype searchers? Yeah, I mean, the fields could use help, right? So, but like, I don't know. I guess, like, to me, like, the fields are, like, whatever. I don't know. My heart's not, like, how do you feel about, like, NSO and Nature Spirits, Deep Savers? Like, for me, I'm like, I keep seeing those cards and I'm like, whatever, man. I'm like, okay, great.
So, I like where their head was at when designing those cards. Personally, I don't vibe with any of those decks. Like, none of those decks are my playstyle, except maybe Nightmare Spirits, but I just haven't messed with it yet. But where stuff like that starts to get a little bit iffy for me is even in BT21 with this adventure support. And it just concerns me a little bit that everything can go in a deck with some of these stuff, or with some of these archetypes. But I would like to see what Bandai does with it. I don't want to say that it's a good or a bad thing. I just want to see where it goes from here, type deal.
That's fair. For me, it's like the opposite. I feel like those decks are like so closed. It's like they all, either you have 13 Nature Spirits rookies, or your rookie lineup is just jank. Either you have, 11, 12 champions, or your deck is just jank. Like, and then it goes up from there, right? So not only are we introducing decks with the tag, like, if like they just become pack filler because like they have to get updated in a very specific way constantly, and if they don't, then they're like, what were they? Were like, truly, what did they ever get done, right? So like we see that with Nature Spirits right now, where it's like, okay, we had to have a whole new line, fill up a whole line in terms of a set space for what? Like, for another green Kabuterimon, like, at the end of the day, like, it was like, ugh. And like you see it in EX8, like, it was so much pack filler, it felt like. And then like, are these decks gonna get supported again? And if they do, are they gonna take up space? Is it gonna be in the right color? Like, it's just like, ugh, they're just so annoying. That's how I feel about them right now. They're just kind of annoying. in terms of looking
can
at a
agree with
set and like being excited for new cards.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that they decided to print a floodgate, like 2 different floodgates. Like we got the Otama and the Tapir now.
That is an interesting space. Yeah, that is. I'm fine with it just because like. I mean, I guess maybe one day it could be problematic because we see it a little bit with Bloomlord, right? Bloomlord's has a searchable floodgate, right? They can always find Pomu. So that's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Right. So like it could be a problem that like these floodgates aren't necessarily away from an archetype, but so far it's been fine, and I'm not gonna stress about it too much. But it is interesting. It is a fun way to put in those floodgates for everyone. I kind of see what you're saying. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what is neat? You never win when making a game. You keep getting better. Is that like a neat? You never win when making a game. You keep getting. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're referencing when I was like, what do you do as a game designer? And everyone's complaining on both sides. You're like, you never win. You just keep you just make the game better. I gotcha. That's a cool way to word that. Why does the color option matter? Okay, and then I think NSP, DS, and NSO are a great way of experimenting a blend of archetypal and generic. I guess that's fair. It is kind of fun to see like a bunch of different Digimon get to be in a deck, right? Like there in no shot does Myotismon and Pumpkinmon get a deck together unless it was Nature Spirits, or was it what's it Edamon and Mega Kabuteru, right? Like they would never exist in the same deck if it wasn't for Nature Spirits.
Yeah. And that is like this adventure deck, you have every protagonist.
Yeah, the adventure deck is interesting. Like series decks, it makes me mad because it's like this adventure tag stuff could have been what the Frontier deck is for like the Susanoo Turbo. We have the 2 halves of Susanoo Turbo, and it's like if we just had the Frontier deck tag for that deck, like I think both of those decks would have been perfectly fine and just like popped off, and it would have been so cool. Instead, we just got slopped. That doesn't work, and it makes me frustrated.
Yep. And it's like you read the promo Magna Garuru, and you're like, this card is really good.
Dude, you get to do 4 attacks. Like it's in theory good, but then you realize like going into a level 6 for 5 is never going to happen, and you're gonna lose the game.
Yeah, not every deck is HPD.
Yeah, exactly. Deep Savers probably is the most like, yeah, if you guys want to talk about which of the fields is the most competitive, like Deep Savers is probably the best one, but that's because they exist on the backbone of all the fish stuff we've gotten for a long time, and so they can play a pure blue line and ignore all that other jank that they keep putting. Like was it Nightmare Soldiers? What are they supposed to do? They don't have enough rookies. They just
right. And like you were saying earlier, you could play the Dobrus package in a deck like that, but then at that point, you're like 8 cards away from building Levia.
Yeah.
Like you could be playing Levia.
Yeah, exactly. Keen to see all the level 5 adventure mods. Hoping Lily and Mega Kabuteru are good. No, I'm excited. Like, I think I said it at some point today. That was just like, I know there's not a deck out there for me in a while, so if I'm going to pick up something, I might pick up the adventure stuff, because like it's going to be nice to know that, like, I think they've announced that we're getting both starter decks are adventure. 21 will get adventure, and then even in the EX like Digivice set or whatever they're calling it, we're going to get some more adventure support in there. So it'll be nice to see like where the deck ends up, and maybe that's kind of a ride I'll be enjoying taking. We'll see. So
that's a lot of support.
So the tournament is over, everybody. Our undefeated player, let me see what our undefeated player was playing. Was it in announcements? Was it in congratulations on Marshmallow Ruffian. I think Blue Hybrid. Marshmallow Ruffian was our Blue Hybrid player today. So they were able to take, they were undefeated.
That was our Tau Loop player.
Oh, that was the Tau Loop player? Okay, so Tau Loop actually, oh no, you're right. It was Tau Loop. the announcement channel is actually kind of funny about it. So second place was McCare. I don't know how to say his screen name. It's Michael. Playing Birds. We saw them earlier today playing Birds, so that was your second place. Blake Banter and Tessero taking third and fourth. Blake Banter must have been the Blue Hybrid player then, because Tessero
Yes.
getting 4th and losing to that person. Yeah, that makes sense. So blue hybrid 3rd, Tessero 4th with red, purple Imperial. Kind of fun stuff. That being said, let's sell out for a little bit. I got 48 of you guys here, and I love doing it. This has been Eagle's Nest, Mondays 7:30, Thursdays 8 p.m. all Eastern time when I'm talking to you guys. It's always fun. It's always fun. And today, Thursday, it's always fun for me to meet new people in the scene, and get to talk to them. And you guys got to meet them. Hopefully, you guys subscribe. Hopefully, you guys do. If you're interested in a janky deck list, it's TCG Tamer right here. You got anything else to sell out? You want to? Is there anything upcoming you got?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, just kind of chilling. List.
He's speed forcing a little bit, but you're fine. Yeah, he's like freezing, and I'm losing his connection or something. Oh, he's gone. He's just like,
The mouse. Can you still hear me at least?
You're back now. I heard. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just kind of chilling, just making some cool new deck lists for 2.5 and B21. But yeah, come check me out if that you want like worked on, or if you want me to look at your funny deck list, just hit me up with a comment or what have you. And yeah, I'd love to work with more people in this space. So thanks, Risu, for having me.
Oh, I mean, this is probably the fun part, the most fun part I get to do for Eagle's Nest. So I will never not.
Yeah,
I love it. And so for our final sellouts of the day, Ultimate Cup this Saturday, Carta Magica. Sign up if you have time and you feel like you want to get that Rise Greymon. It's the last. I keep calling it the last NA Ultimate Cup. Technically, that's not true. Ultimate Cups are just changing. They're becoming side events. So this is the last Ultimate Cup as we know it. So if you want to be part of that, or at least watch the stream, prove to Bandai and prove to organizers that Digimon is a game worth pushing, worth having streams for, worth all this stuff. And the only way to do that is by participating, either by watching or by, showing up, playing, and paying to play. That being said,
yeah.
Next, our weekly schedule here, Eagle's Nest, Monday, Thursday. We talked about that. Doo Destin, Wednesday. Tomorrow, Digi Galaxy, 6:30 CST, so 7:30 Eastern, $10 entry. Still don't know who they are, but I'll try. I promise I'll have more information. Maybe I promise that, and I probably will. I'm not promising nothing, honestly, man. I got other things to do. DigiGuard United is also on Fridays, so if you want to check them out, you guys probably know who they are. They also host a webcam tournament on Fridays. DMV Drakes will be in that final slot I haven't talked about on Tuesdays, but they're a bi-weekly tournament, so there's no guarantee which week they are on or not on. So always check with the Discord and everything. Next week, feature Eagle with a new PC. All right, so Mondays with Eagle will return at its peak and at the best it's ever been. I'm very excited. That was the last sellout slide. Oh, Eggman, the March 4th double win-a-box. Oh, wait, no, we actually have two more slides. March 4th, double win-a-box webcam, eggmanevents.com. Check us out. The stream will be here. It's a Tuesday. Expect me, expect a guest. It's always going to be fun. I love being able to use my... I would say Eggman's my platform too, and I love to be able to push that for a dear friend of mine and help him push his Bandai adventures to the maximum. So sign up, join, yada yada. Last thing, Sunday coming up will be on this channel. We will be streaming the PPG webcam case tournament for EX8. Say goodbye to EX8. One final tournament, one final product grab for any of you guys. I mean, Medieval Gallantmon, man, it is an expensive card. You guys, I mean, it's worth trying to pick up cards from a case, man. So, I mean, do you know what the price of Medieval is at right now, TCG?
It's $100 for the alt. It is like 80 for the regular.
Jesus Christ.
And I have no idea what the SP is at.
Oh, I don't want to think about SPs, man. SPs are probably, like, when I say I max rarity a deck, I don't think about SPs. I just kind of move on and pretend they don't exist, honestly.
Yeah, if I wanted max rarity set of Magnamon X, like that's like $4,000. That's
not today, not in this economy, not in any economy, honestly. The last thing is, I know I don't have a slide for it, but Eagle's Nest, I think I have a link for it in the description below. Eagle's Nest is also hosting a 2.5 case tournament. So if you guys want to sign up to that, let me get the actual date so I can say it out loud for you. What do we call you? Audio only listeners. Sunday, March 2nd. So that is going to be a very busy time for Risu the Squirrel. We got not Risu the Squirrel. I still need to talk to him about that. That's going to be a very like filled adventure time, man. Like we got the case tournament March 2nd. It's going to be at 12 p.m. noon EST. So noon? I guess noon makes sense as a word to you guys. $35 March 2nd, Eagle's Nest case tournament for 2.5. Enjoy that. And then Gundam announcements coming soon. Anyway, any last, get your last words in now, chat. You guys got any questions for myself, TCG Tamer? You guys want to yap about anything? Did anyone read the Eagles, the East article? If you guys want to give me a TLDR, we can yap about that for a quick minute. But no, Ryan, good night. Thank you. It's always a pleasure having you here. Yeah, I'm just like, any last words, TCG Tamer?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I had a blast. This was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you said that, or I'm glad to hear it, I should say. I had a lot of fun too. All right, guys, good night. See you Sunday for PPG here on this channel, case tournament Sunday. So check that out, or sign up. You know, you could always play yourself. And then I hope to see you guys in the Carta Magica chat. I'll try to yap with you guys there. And that's it. Good night. I'm gonna wave. We're hitting the stop stream button and we're saying good night.